Okay, that showed. What's good, everyone? I hope everyone's having a great summer so far because there's been tons of games that's been showcased. I'm REDinFamy, your master geektress, and we are here to celebrate Black voices in gaming and also Dance for Games. So I'm a little late, but that's okay. All right. So we always ask for, of course, when it comes to diverse games, seeing more black faces in video games, seeing more brown faces in video games, black and Hispanic representation. And black voices in gaming is one of those pinnacles and platforms that we're able to actually get to see that we actually get to see people that look like me, that look like us, if you of black and Hispanic descent, be showcased in video games and from makers who actually make those games. So they just think that we don't exist. Thank you, Safer Stone, for the follow. So I'm a little late, but Black Voices in Gaming is happening right now. I'm going to showcase my reactions and commentary to it. And then later on, we also have Dance for Games. I'm a part of the whole mixed family. Shouts out to Justin and everyone right now. Shouts out to Derek, too, who's going to be a host on here. I've hosted Black Voices in Gaming in the past and also Dance for Games, helping them out as well. So we're going to get into the whole showcase. And yeah, because there's been some dope games all the way through. So let's jump into the showcase. You know, the visuals are always, I gotta ask Justin, what, who does the visuals?
I am the co-founder of The Mix and Black Voice in Gaming. Welcome to the 5th annual Black Voice in Gaming Guerrilla Collective Showcase, where we interview talented black game developers who will share the trailers and gameplay footage of their creations. My friend Derek Fields, developer, artist, founder of Waking Oni Studios and BVIG Foundation advisor, will be hosting with me and hop on the sticks to play one of the games. To tell you a little bit about the BVIG and how it started, this showcase and organization was created in June of 2020 during the protests and demonstrations that united us worldwide. Black Voices in Gaming has gone from a showcase to a nonprofit organization which helps to accelerate the growth of professional game developers and provide opportunities. You know, the world has changed, but our mission has not. For the past 4 years, I've been the lead advisor on the Humble Black Game Developer Fund, which has funded and supported 40 games by black developers globally. We are excited that through our parent nonprofit, Experience Studios, we will continue the work that we started at Humble and take it to the next level. We are proud to be Humble's featured charity for June, so please head over to the Humble Bundle page to grab a bundle, some games, and more info on the cause. We want to thank our partners for today's showcase, Razer, PlayStation, and Raw Fury. You guys are great. We couldn't do it without you. We can't forget to thank our wonderful broadcasting partners, Twitch, IGN, GameSpot, Steam, for hosting us. Don't forget to check out the Guerrilla Collective Black Voice in Gaming and Games for Games event page to learn more about Black Voice in Gaming titles, buy the available games, or add them to your wish lists because it helps the devs out a lot. If you're looking for other ways to help, you can donate to Black Voices in Gaming's charity through the QR code on screen that is linked to Streamlabs and Tiltify charity pages. Any amount helps. We truly appreciate it. Remember to follow BVIG on Twitter at BVI Gaming and everywhere else, Black Voices in Gaming. To get things sparked off, our first guest, James Averett, is an artist and character designer behind the game Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch. Let's check out the trailer and get into the interview.
I know this is still. I know it's released. I didn't get a chance to play it. Why is this?
Chronic blunt punch, bitch.
What is happening? That has me cracking up every time, especially when Jay says, um, chronic blunt punch bitch. I'm just like, it's
Yo, I was focused in on the mascot that was getting punched up in the animated trailer. I was trying to figure out like when do we see more of that? You like what's going to be happening there?
Wait, which one? Which one?
There's a mascot. Somebody's in like a cow mascot or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah. That was the Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch trailer. One of the games actually I'm working on. And we have James Everett.
You said it right.
I try to make it as quick as possible so I can pronounce syllables, consonants, and all them things. You know what I'm saying? How's it going, James?
It's going well. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Thanks for jumping
Fire
in.
Mohawk.
I mean, all those characters in that in the trailer are characters that you designed, which is pretty dope. Do you want to kind of talk about like your role as a lead character artist and maybe where you got started?
Sure. Well, the role was really kind of something that I aspired to and didn't know if it was in the cards for me in the long term. But when it presented itself, I was always made to feel like, hey, you can go big with your imagination, and we can always reel it in. And so I always felt like it was a role that let me be as creative as I really wanted to be, and that was one of the best parts of it. So throughout the whole process, I always had fun with it, and the goal was really to just make characters that looked believable in some way or another. And let's see, where did I get started? Oh man, I've been drawing since I was old enough to hold a pencil, and so as a kid, going to church with my parents, they would give me a piece of paper to keep me busy because I was always attention was everywhere else, and so I would draw different people around the church and then show my parents and make them laugh, and then they'd be like, hide it, because they were trying not to laugh in church, and fortunately, I had parents that always nurtured that artistic side.
Oh, Cherry.
They encouraged it, so that went all the way up through.
So when you always have your parents like supportive of what you do, that's like out of the norm, like the
I
normal
worked,
or whatever.
Part-time doing caricatures for SeaWorld.
And, like everybody worked at SeaWorld, but I think the difference is people.
I just fostering a passion. I love when parents foster their child's passion.
I love that. If I could ask just really briefly, could you talk a little bit about maybe some of the stylistic influences? Because you mentioned, drawing, caricatures, if you will, of people at church, and then actually drawing caricatures at SeaWorld. Both of them have kind of a comic influence. What are some of the styles that that play an impact on your artwork?
Oh man, I've always been inspired by just different people. And I've always kind of found sort of like a beauty in, different features, different body sizes and styles and types, and, different, like facial features. And I would always be one of the people that.
To put it lightly,
to put it lightly, yeah. But it was like one of those things where it came naturally because you would observe something about somebody, so they'd be like, "Oh, right. Do you know do you know Bernice? And I'd be like, oh, the one with the small face. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I never noticed that. And it's like,
I get in trouble for that all the time. Yeah, yes, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where it's like it always stuck with me, and those were the things that I noticed, which kind of lent itself to the caricature situation. And of course, growing up, our parents used to play Looney Tunes and like the Disney movies, and those all had really extreme character designs and like major exaggerations, and so that to me, along with that sort of comedic timing of the animation and everything, really made a huge impact on my style.
You'll be there Saturday, dope.
Yeah.
That's cool. How did you have any trouble kind of breaking out of doing so much caricature work when you started to design characters? Because it seems like it could be a habit after a while to make them look like the traditional caricatures that you would see in various, I don't know. I was gonna say carnivals.
Well,
because you worked at the zoo too.
I worked at the zoo and I worked at the LA County Fair, so technically the carnival. I've been all over with the caricature, and I have all my fingers too. But no, I did. I would say the caricatures I always kept kind of separate from the other art that I did, just because for me it was a job, and I had some friends that did caricatures as well, and they encouraged me to keep doing it because they said they really liked my style or they liked my approach to it, and so I always kind of kept that
Banksley.
In the repertoire. But with the character designs, I don't lean so heavily into it. I just kind of draw on like the principles of it. So like, you might see it in some of the characters that I design, facial proportions. They don't all look like the same character, or they don't look like they're all following the same formula. So
it's not lately. We've been here, Jared. We've been here really since the inception.
We saw a hint of some of the characters that
it's just great to have showcases like this, because a lot of people don't know that there are tons of Black game developers that work on a lot of projects that you play now that are AAA games, and not just, of course, games just Black, like Black oriented or Black professions or anything like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Yassam?
Sometimes you do have those.
But yeah, it's tons. We've been here.
Like walls that you hit.
Don't let them fool you.
And you're like trying to think, how can I make this different? And or did I already use this approach to this character? How do you make things
like it's been a lot.
Varied enough to where
it's been a lot.
They look like they're still in the same realm.
Even gaming wise, it's always been a lot.
Like reskins or cutouts of the same.
What's up, JD?
And so sometimes that can be a challenge, and, just the pressure that you can put on yourself sometimes. That would be a low, but I think on the opposite side of that, the highs are just when you hit it and you get a really good character and you show it for the first time, and then everybody's laughing or they're like pointing out something that you like specifically put in there for that purpose. And it's just great when you really get a good character going.
Yeah, the characters are ridiculous. Like we would be cracking up when looking at and just like coming up with ideas. Can you describe a few of the characters that we have in the game? They're all like pretty ridiculous, but
yeah. So one of my she's still one of my favorites is Rascal Flaps. She's like a really large woman on a scooter that tries to run you down. It's like a motorized scooter, and they, I was just kind of given the okay to get as ridiculous as possible, and she ended up being 80% woman and 20% scooter, and it worked out really well. And it was super funny, like a lot of secondary animation in that character. And, what else? The phone drones were fun to design too. The characters that are all like looking at their phones, and they kind of all fit in that same realm of they have that same like
Jerry,
crossover look on their face, and yeah, those were fun to design. So.
Yeah. Now, I imagine, because in the nature of the game, you have this ability to be able to like stretch the boundary on not only creating caricatures, but driving home jokes that might come with that. How, from a design perspective, do you balance things in a way where there's still, tasteful might be the right word here, but, stretching it to the point where we know it's funny. We're here to have fun with it.
Like I said in the beginning, I was always given the okay to go big, and so I would go as far as I could take it. Justin can attest to that. We would sometimes just go.
There is sometimes we would have to be like, yo, yeah. Not but like, yo, we may need to like push that back a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe offensive if we're trying to get you know what I mean? If we're trying to get a mature rating.
It was like we need to pull this back a little,
so we can stay within before the AO, toe only situation. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, maybe it's like they said too much genitalia. Like you need like 5 less or something.
Right. It's like, do they need that many nipples? Really? Yeah. But, so no, it was like go big and then you can dial it back, because sometimes it's harder to get something that's reserved to be pushed a little further, whereas like when you go big, you can always pull it back a little. You can scale it back. So that was kind of the approach that we went with: go big or go home.
And you were when you went to school, the Art Institute, you were in game design, right?
I was.
So you had to learn. You basically can you talk a little bit about how you learned how to you basically learned how to animate by yourself, right?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I initially went to that school wanting to go into animation, and the academic directors convinced me to go into game design. So I had all of one animation class while I was at the school, and I didn't do too well in that class. But I always loved animation, and I loved trying to
animation is
the things
animation is not easy.
And different styles of animation. So I always noticed like the difference between Disney and their like sometimes over animated short cartoons versus the Looney Tunes cartoons that had this snappy limited animation that really lent itself to the comic timing. And then also growing up watching anime and like different cartoons on Nickelodeon and everything, you learn what makes the animations feel cohesive to the style that they're in. And so that was my approach, was just gaining an understanding of like the things that made certain animation styles work, and then implementing those things into my work, trying to figure out the frame rates and like how to make things snap pop. So.
Yeah. If I could just very quickly kind of squeeze in one more little question, and that's, having taken the skills that you've leveraged for Chronic Blunt Punch, is there anything that you're hoping to do next with, animation or character design?
I just want to keep giving. I mean, it's really fulfilling to create a character from a simple concept and then watch it come to life. And so I just want to keep doing it and just pass on whatever knowledge that comes with that. Yeah.
Dope.
That's the goal.
Well, thanks so much, James, for joining us. Tell us where to find more about the game and yourself, and what other stuff that you may be doing.
yeah, keep an eye out for the game on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those platforms, and I'll be working on a new project that I can't say too much about, but I will make it known once I'm able to talk about it.
Love it.
Cool. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it. See you around.
James is hilarious. Great interview. It's awesome to see him glow up and find inspiration to grow his art. Keep going, man. If you are enjoying what you see so far, consider supporting our developers through our Streamlabs and Tiltify pages. Donations to Black Voice in Gaming support our mission of helping game studio entrepreneurs succeed. And while you're at it, check out our Steam event page to wishlist the titles on today's show and much more. Once this show is over, please stay tuned for the Dames for Games showcase, which is focused on uplifting our sisters in gaming, and keep it locked for the Stream for a Cause showcase as they are helping to paint the world a rainbow. Next up, we have a trailer featuring games from the BVIG cohort, and we will then hop into an international one-on-one interview with Andrea Marsili from Marslit Games. Let's go.
Arrow Knight. Yo, Event Neon. The game developers. Yo, funny. For the closure satisfaction, arranging my passionate closely. I'm loving my time with the whole team. Playing online in a full screen. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks. How I found place in rap. When my foundation was lost to time, it cost a whole statement track. Of apostle God's kin in a soft tin going all in. That game is gonna be really good. Guitar hymns, how I stopped them from accosting. Gotta go fast, bombastic. Puzzle bugs fall, then break, that's magic. Gotta go fast, bombastic. Puzzle bugs fall, break, that's magic. Gotta go fast, bombastic. Puzzle bugs fall, break, I gotta finally play that game.
First you gotta learn to go slow, that's mastery. Otherwise, capsize the crap, that's tragedy. Like to
there's so many games we make.
And I'm so sincere. They look surprised. The painter cuts his ear and I gouge my eyes. That's hard, my dear. You know the price. I pay it gladly. How embarrassing the upper handing, the always having, the never growling, my hunger prowling, unencumbered.
Baka, yo, it's hilarious.
Thunder. Is it my writing causing the thunder and lightning? Is it my immaculate style making a hater smile? Is there a pension plan for a poet in Wonderland?
I cannot wait for this. I don't know if it's the DLC, but like the second episode of Beatdown and Treachery City. That's like one of my favorite games. Like, I gotta stream that game.
Gotta go fast, bombastic, puzzle blocks fall, break, that's magic. Gotta go fast, bombastic, puzzle blocks fall, break, that's magic. Gotta go fast, bombastic, puzzle blocks fall, break, that's magic.
And those are all the games. I know I played the previous.
Welcome back.
Aerial Knight. I know I had Neil.
We're with
actually one of his first interviews too. I did
you could correct me if I'm
with
wrong.
Neil as far as on
Games,
camera.
who is developing a really awesome game, Althea, The Wrath of Fairy. Hey Andrea, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks, Justin.
Andrea.
It's cool. I mean, you're all the way.
So I haven't played the new demo yet. I will stream the new demo, and I will have Neil back on, aka Aerial Knight. I'll definitely have him back on to interview him.
I know I'm
hitting
jumping
code.
the gun. I'm just
Yeah.
When I went to Italy, there wasn't a lot of black folks there.
No, I mean I'm probably the only one, but I mean it's time the indie scene is going up, and things seems to go pretty well here, you know. So I would say.
It's dope. So he's a Italian black game developer.
Yeah. Let's say developer.
So he said a lot more black developers in Italy is coming about. So that's dope to hear.
Things are going pretty well here in Italy. Yes.
That's cool. There's a lot of like indie developers. I don't want to say a lot. There's a few indie developers that I work with in Italy, and like they're always like very gracious and awesome to talk to and connect with, and always have really cool projects. How did you get started in game development?
I mean, and with we, I mean me and my brother, because the whole Marslit game is just me and my brother. Started in the comics and book industry for a few years. We didn't really like it, and we've been gamer for our whole life. So one day I was like, let's try to make games. And my brother just said yes, and we we tried to make games. I mean, I'm the programmer and writer part of the team, while my brother do everything that is graphical or artistic, because I can do any of that. And so it was just like that. We've been working together basically for our whole life, you know. So there is a great chemistry between me and my brother. So I mean, you wouldn't say Altea is a game made by just two people, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Is it just you, or do you have other
Yes, just
folks?
me and my brother. Just me and my
Wow,
brother.
that's crazy. Like the game,
Just me
I
and my
mean, the
brother.
game looks
Everything.
amazing. It looks
Yes,
so it
the
looks so good.
yes, the animation, the writing, the programming, even the porting, everything is just me and my brother.
We're gonna pop some gameplay on the screen as we talk
Sure.
about it, but talk to us about Althea.
So wait a minute.
Fairy.
It's just him and his brother that made
Really
this?
So long story short, the game is basically heavily inspired by The Legend of Zelda, the old one, like Twilight Princess, or I don't know, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, this kind of Zelda. So we liked Breath of the Wild a lot, but we felt like dungeon were missing. I miss dungeon, you know, and this is where the main idea from Althea came through. You know, we wanted to do an early 2000 Zelda game, you know, in 2024. And also we took inspiration from a lot of anime because we are deep into the anime thing, you know. So there is a lot of inspiration from Studio Ghibli and but even
I
Evangelion.
always have the
This is what
question.
we grew
We
up with,
asked
you
this
know.
question. I know
So
somebody's like, I
the good
asked the
side of the
question.
game.
I
I mean,
forgot
the
who
game
it
is
was.
mainly
Destiny and I. We
gameplay, easy
asked
to
like,
do. There is a
hey,
lot to do, a lot
you know,
to
as a
see.
black
But
game developer,
we
why
wanted
isn't your
to
main
make a game
character
that
that
is like you know
when we don't
was
really get to see that, or
a
of
big
a
personal
different character
in the
of
game,
color? I
but
always pose that question
where
because
on
I'm
top
always
of
interested
just
to hear what the developers
a full
say,
gameplay game
and then
with all of
a
the
lot of
ingredients because
times it's
the game
because they
is
know
not
their game
only
won't get
about
well
those
received.
things.
Unfortunately, when it's like their first project,
Feeling is
it's
also,
sad.
you know,
I'm not
because
saying
yes,
that's his case.
some rough,
I
yes,
would really
but
be curious
and
to
as writer, I
ask
wanted
that, you know,
to do
because
something with it.
when
You know,
people make games, of
I
course, they
came up
make
with
games based
a
off of what
story.
they already
My
know,
brother came
which
up
would be
with the
them.
script.
Like we
We
ask a
have
lot of
like a
times with
single mind
white game
because
developers,
That's
what
this
I'm
is
like,
how
so.
we work.
Can you tell,
why
like,
would they
give us a
not?
synopsis of the game and like kind of what, like the character and that kind of thing?
Yes, sure. So there are two main characters. There is Lily and Sadie, and Lily is just like Link, you know, is a guardian. She has a sword and do guardian things. While Sadie is a monk and he use magic. Is more of a thinking guy. Use more his mind than his power. And together use both character um, to basically go through the game. You know, you solve puzzles together. You live your journey together because they are both main characters. You know, both of them lost someone at the beginning of the
Do you
game.
see like
They
so?
have to deal with it,
That's
and
my
they
question.
have to learn from each other. They have to learn to cooperate. You know, your power became more powerful, and you became more cooperative while you advance to the game. You know, the more you play, the more the relationship change. The more the relationship change, you're, the more you can do in terms of gameplay. You know,
That's so
and
there's like immersive elements to it. As you're doing something, it opens up different pathways.
yes, yeah. As I said, like in the old Zelda, you know, you get a new power and you get to explore
That's
new
cool.
areas, you know, that you couldn't explore before, or you go back to a dungeon because we have dungeon. You go back to a dungeon that you previously you couldn't really fully explore, you know, and now that you have, you can use the new power you obtain to explore new areas in the set dungeon and learn more about the lore of the game and advance to the story, you know.
Did you use real life elements to draw from when you were writing the story? What was the writing process
Absolutely.
like?
I mean, the writing process is a huge mess because, you know, uh, because you have to adapt to what's happening. You know, game development is not a straight line, and whoever is telling it is a straight line is lying. You know, so I had the story at the beginning, and while I was developing, while we were creating, I changed bits and parts here and there. The core story is there, is 100% the same that I wrote the first day, but basically not say every day, but basically for the first half of the development, everything changed regularly, you know, because you work on system, you work on the character, and you learn more on the character. Even while you write them, you think with their mind, and thinking with their mind, you learn more about them. So you want to change something in the story. So there is not a real writing process, as there is not a real normal development process. You know, you have we don't make concept, we don't do anything in between the idea and the realization. You know, I come up with an idea and my brother just visualize it in his mind, and
Oh,
it
so they didn't
goes
even like come up
straight on the
from off of
page, you
a
know.
That totally
I
concept.
have
makes
They just had the idea, and then
yeah,
his
yeah,
brother
I have a
just went
character,
off of
but
the idea.
this character, my brother
Thank you,
can see it how I imagine it, exactly how I
Smart
imagine it. I don't know how that works, but it's that,
Ron,
you
if
know.
I'm
No, that totally
saying that
makes
right. I
sense.
try to
Are
get
there
the
like
names right, but
certain
thank you so much for the
uh
follow.
characteristics that you're drawing from like friends and family as you're developing the characters, or is it just like
Mm,
you have this idea of this character and like you want to make this specific idea and character come to life?
you know, there is a little bit of us in the character, not really families, but mainly me, again, me and my brother in the character, you know, not people I know, but it's a way, writing is a way of dealing with what happened to me, you know, mainly to me because I'm the brother, you know, but what happened to me also happened to my family and my brother because we're all together, you know. So both characters are just a mirror of me. Yes, a mirror of me. Let's say that. Both
That's
characters.
yeah, that's cool.
I
Does it
wonder why.
draw from like as
It
you
would have been
realized
dope
how you
if
were
he
getting
would have
to your family
drew
was getting
if it
to
was both of them as
Italy? Or I know
characters.
earlier before we even
That would have
jumped
been
on, you were
fire.
talking
Yeah.
about how your family
Mhm.
left Somalia, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, my mom, my father was from Italy, but no, it's not really. There's not really that. No, but there is. As I said, there is a lot about my past. Like my past 10 years are probably there is a lot there, a lot, really, like a lot. I don't want to spoil anything because if I say
Yeah.
something, I'm gonna spoil something in the game. So I don't really want to say
Okay.
too much. But
I'm
yes,
acting like
there is
I'm an
definitely
interview.
a lot about
Like
my
I'm talking
past,
to him
my
right
life,
now.
and everything. Even if it doesn't look like a game, you know, this heavy story game where there is the developer that put all his life inside the game, and you can clearly see it. You know, you really need to understand it. Previously, I said that one of the inspiration was Evangelion, and Hideaki Anno put a lot of him inside the anime. And if you just saw it, you can
You'll
grasp
pick
it.
up on
But if
certain
you really
things.
pay attention, you can see what he was going through and his life and idea in his creation. And I want to
I get what
do
he's
the
saying.
same thing. I won't manage to do it, but this is the idea, let's say.
That's cool. I think just, people are interested in, indie creators because they're putting so much personality into the game. So it's like
Exactly.
it's comforting to see that you're coming from a place of just, pure passion and how
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
putting this together. What has been the journey like as you've been developing the game? Like how long have
Mhm.
you been making the game? What has been your path to
Mhm.
almost completion?
Uh, like hell on earth, you know. it was tough. It's tough, and we've been through a lot of nice, good moment, a lot more of bad moment. But as of the game, as of the writing process, we try to use everything that happened to us and put it in the game. Even if we've been through a lot of bad time, we are close to finish the game. We are pretty satisfied to how it's coming out, and the whole process,
They're
the
almost
whole
finished with the
journey
game.
was,
That's
I
just
don't know,
crazy. Like
at
a
this moment, something
2-man
I wouldn't do again. But I know that
developed
as
game
soon as
and
I
it
finish
looked like
this game,
this. There's
I
no
am going
excuses
to
for
jump right
teams of
into the
1,000.
next
Like
one.
this is
So
a 2-man
I
developed
don't know if
game.
I hate myself or is something
I think
wrong
That's
about this, but
amazing.
it's like that.
No, I feel you. I mean, I'm, as a developer myself, I'm the same thing. I feel it's like a glutton for punishment, as they say, where I'm like, it's painful sometimes, but
Yes.
it's a journey. Like it's a very interesting. There's a lot of twists and turns, and at the end of the day, you've created something. So,
Yeah.
Congratulations for getting this far. You know what I mean? And like making something that's like it's very impressive, you know? Yeah, that's cool. It's great that
Yeah, it's
you're
very
able to
impressive.
also express that. Or what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've had? Like, can you just name maybe one that other developers may go through?
So the main thing about this is going to be like taking it from far, 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 but this main thing about this whole industry, and then is that the people making the game are not the people taking the decision, and so there is some miscommunication. You know, this is one thing that I think a lot of developer can relate to. And other things is I hate cloud stuff, asynchronous stuff, but it is more of a programmer's things. And other than that, I think I really like the journey of making the game. Even if, as I probably said, I hate it, but I really like it because you get to deal with your own
Developers
thoughts.
go through a lot,
You
yo. I
Even
don't
if
think
it
we
sounds boring, you get
appreciate the things
to
that they actually
stare at a
like go through
screen
to
for
make a
like
game.
12, 13 hours a day because we've been crunched like from day one and so on. But you get to stare at the screen for 15-hour, 14-hour days, and you think a lot, And for me, for how I am, it's great, It do a lot of good for me, at least mentally.
That's no, I feel you on that. Yeah, thanks for sharing for sure. So where can we find out more about Althea, the Wrath of Aferi?
For sure, Steam wishlist, please. But also Twitter and Instagram. I don't post that often because I basically don't have a life. But when I remember that I have Twitter and like x.com or call it how you want, and Instagram, I post about the game. Yes, these are the
Okay.
main channel where you
So
can find that. Yes,
Marslet Games,
sure.
y'all.
Okay, cool. I know you don't want me to necessarily ask because I know it's gonna be done when it's done. Do you have a a time frame? 2025, 2026?
Yes, during my lifetime for sure.
During my lifetime.
But from the end of this year and beginning of the next one.
Okay, great. That's awesome. That's good to
So
hear. At least we have some kind of, light at the end
ish.
of the tunnel.
Yeah. Light of the end of the tunnel.
Cool.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Andrea. Like,
Thank
it's
you,
awesome to
Justin.
hear your story, and we're gonna show some dope gameplay footage. And folks, definitely wish list the game on Steam right now.
It helps
to support Marslet. Andrea and his family have such a fascinating indie story. I can't wait to play their game and definitely need to go to Italy for some delicious food and game tasting. No buco di beppo. Shout out to Sean Alexander Allen, one of the leaders of BVIG, and all the devs for showing their latest and greatest in that trailer. If you missed some of the dope developers and games from BVIG, check out our website and follow us on Twitter/X at BVI Gaming. The Dames for Games and Stream for a Cause showcases are up next, so please keep it locked after the show. Now let's keep things rolling to our final conversation and game demo with our friend Tomas Gomez, BVIG alumni, industry vet, and the founder of Pancake Game Studios, who are about to release their title, Slime Heroes.
To hashtag Twitch. That right now. Oh, yo, Slime Heroes, got a chance to speak to that developer as well when I think last time I hosted.
So well orchestrated.
That game is difficult, but it's fun.
Gomez here chilling with us, and alumni of BVIG.
That's right.
BGDF. Like, we connected during the Guerrilla Collective of 2021, I think. Like, at that time. But yeah, let's bring him in.
Yeah. Really excited to have you here.
Slime Heroes looks so sick. It's just progressed so well. It sounds great. Like, the action looks great. The transformations are so slick. It's so cool to see the progression.
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. Like, this was the first. I started the studio, and this is the first game I've been making it by myself, and I've gotten to meet people like y'all and join different groups like Black Voices in Gaming, and it's been a great experience getting to build this game and grow a team. And I appreciate all the good vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Always good vibes. So I'm going to be on the controller here. So, you know, multitasking is always a myth for me, getting to talk and play at the same time. But I got to know, like, you know, what's been behind some of the lovely inspirations, the vibes that are being shared with this, because it's whimsical. It's like, it's got everything.
Mm-hmm. I definitely
he made this by himself.
Something that was very welcoming and wholesome, and so basically all of our decisions, both on the art and design, we wanted it to be very inclusive and we wanted to build a world that people wanted to stay in.
I wonder what he learned from the previous game to be very kind of change,
colorful and vibrant. Nothing, even our most scariest areas, still have some wholesomeness to them, some charm. And then within the design itself, like even though this is like an action game, like we are trying to build stuff to where like you're never, for example, you're never killing an enemy, you're saving them and doing the thing where you like remove the corruption, little creatures pop out and stuff like that. So we just try to add as much wholesome and charm as possible into this game.
Yeah, it's definitely felt. Though I don't know if I saved the one creature that I knocked off the cliff a moment ago. They might have a hard time getting back to me.
Oh, no, they're fine.
I'm putting faith in you.
Yeah,
it's very cinematic. I mean, it looks like to the stature of a AAA game, really. AAA game, which is very impressive. And the music, it sounds like you actually hired a classical orchestra. So, but I'm, you know what I mean? I'm maybe I'm like fronting a little bit, but how did that happen? Like, how did you come up with
so we were really lucky. I think this was the first hire for the studio. I was by myself. I was like on Twitter trying to post as much as possible, like build that following. And then this person reached out to me. I'd done this post showing off one of our biomes, the cave biome, and they reached out to me and basically took the tweet that I'd done of a video of the cave area and did music to it. And
wow.
their name is James Lawrence, and it's actually their intro into the video game industry. So this is the first game they've worked on, but they did fantastic in that little clip, and I reached back out to them like, this is great.
Listen,
do you want to do the actual
platforms,
music for the game?
You gotta use it.
So, and we've been working ever since, and they were the first people. They were the second person to come onto the project and help out on Slime Heroes.
It's amazing to hear how, you know, your title has really created an influence and impact on somebody to want to provide some music at that capacity and you know, fundamentally support the tone and vision for the game. What else is ahead in that vision for players? What are they intending to experience, and where does this world take them to?
Yeah, so like this is definitely like a huge world. There's lots of different areas to explore. The main mechanic for your character, as a slime, you can actually absorb the skills that you see that the enemies are using.
Okay, so we got some Kirby in here.
So you're kind of exploring, finding different enemies, taking their skills, and then combining those into brand new skills. And so there's like almost like a Kirby-esque to it, where you're taking the enemy skill, but then you can mix and match them and build brand new ones.
That's fire.
Wow.
And then there's just tons of exploration.
I gotta finish the first one.
A bunch of biomes. There's gonna be.
I will stream the first one for y'all. Y'all know
the hardest combat.
Wednesdays.
There will be more cinematics.
But tomorrow, I guess tomorrow I'll showcase either his game or
story that we've
game,
been
but always a black or brown Hispanic.
What made you? I know you kind of talked about
game developers game
in the beginning, but slime.
I'll get back on it.
You know, like what fascinates you
hit it
about
cold
slimes?
So
it's all some Barbara Walters stuff, but it's not at all. I mean, it's like not
gonna be appropriate for the stream. No. No. It's like when this. So I was by myself, like first figuring out this game idea, and I was trying to like figure out. So there's two real reasons why we went with slimes, and one was I wanted to find a character that could be charming, that players could associate with and understand. And slimes are one of the monsters that you commonly see. I think anyone who's played any type of fantasy game, like they've probably seen a slime and they know that type of monster.
What is up, fam?
Something that's kind of relatable that people understand. And then we also wanted to tell a story. So like the overarching story here is actually we're trying to tell a story of a race that got oppressed, and basically the world doesn't view them as something that is beneficial to this world. And so you'll see a lot of interactions with different NPCs and how they view slimes in this world. And basically your perseverance and wanting to help this world kind of alleviate or helps that viewpoint on you and show that you're actually this thing that seemed useless to the world actually can be a hero.
So what happened to that character right there? It was so cute, and then it turned into this like actually cool looking villain.
It was a very cool transition.
Yeah, it looked pretty badass.
So yeah, so like I said, like all the creatures. So every monster that you're fighting, you're actually trying to remove that corruption and save them. So right now you're in the cave biome. So all the creatures that you're saving here are this race called the Wiggles, and every biome. The next biome after this will be forest. There's this there's this own race here called the Boti, and you'll be saving them. And as you save more and more of them, they'll actually help you in an adventure and giving you like equipment and stuff like that to use later.
It's awesome how you're flipping the script that way. Yeah, because slime are like the lowest denominator when it comes to those. You're just fighting tons of slimes and some of them. In fantasy games. So that's interesting.
It's well timed too, because if I remember correctly, there's a few different anime series that are interpreting that same sort of
the
relationship
slime.
with the slime character now being the protagonist, and so I feel like you found your
got
target
reincarnated
audience.
into the slime.
One of the things that I want to comment on. Oh,
yeah, it's live right now. It's just that I'm
recording.
behind because I was late, but it's live right now. And then after this is going to be Dames for Games.
Yeah, it's definitely felt. Having the opportunity to play this directly, I've discovered a handful of combat moves. I'm changing into a fist. And
I got the first one I interviewed when I was a host on here, I think 2 years ago, or the year before last. I forgot.
Again, just
really I
charming.
interviewed
could you expand a little
Tomas
bit more about
the first game?
the combat? I've gathered weapons. I have different combat moves and things.
That game was kind of hard. I wonder if he changed the difficulty scale on it.
So you have
but I was like
you can customize
asking questions and stuff. So while playing it, so I wasn't that focused. But the game is fun.
In this area, you can get 2 skills: a projectile and a whirlwind. And so the whirlwind will pull enemies towards it. Projectiles, pretty basic projectile, shoots a single projectile in front of you along a path. You can combine them. So if you do,
I'm definitely going to showcase the game again, and I'm definitely going to
have
the second one.
Whirlwind that shoots it, and then is actually a projectile that's moving along.
He did this himself. Do y'all not understand it? Like
and then
he
the other way, you can have a projectile that's now spinning around you, and so. That's like a core system to the combat, and then every time you use a skill, you're actually using part of that blue bar.
That is
so you'll use skills, that'll empty out, and only way to refill that is to get melee hits in. And so there'll be a bunch of different melee weapons you can get, hopefully, and then ideally every person can find a melee weapon that matches their playstyle. And you'll be using melee weapons to fill back up that bar. So there's a nice push and pull of like using your magic skills, then getting in there, doing a couple melee hits, doing magic, and going back and forth. And then there'll be some ultimate skills you can get later on in the game after defeating bosses that you'll be able to use these very big, impressive skills.
And there's multiplayer support in the game.
Yeah, so we've been working hard, and we have a demo that people can play right now, single player. They can also play online, so they can play with a friend. It's 2 people, but you can enjoy the entire experience together. From right after creating your character, you can join each other and play from the tutorial all the way to the end credit screen. We wanted to, I think as a studio, we want to build games where people can share experiences with each other, and that was something that was important to me. And so so this game you can play with a friend or a family member through the whole thing.
That's lovely. You didn't mention voice acting. We have voiceover as well. Like, when I pulled up on this character, he started talking, and it's wonderful. So like, would love to hear more about that too.
Yeah, like we have voice acting for almost all the characters. I think the only characters that don't have voice acting are the little creatures you save in the biomes, but all of our NPCs, the bosses, have voice acting. We thought that was really important to add that charm and character and personality to at least the core cast. And so so there's VO through the entire game.
Yeah, it's like all of the nuance to the idle animations just from the characters. It's so seamless. How do you view the characterization of the animation? Like how did you go about like establishing what you wanted the game to feel like?
So we definitely early on we were trying to figure out like what were some things that we could do as a slime as a main character. Like what were some unique things that we could do there, and so we were like exploring a bunch, and it's like you'll see the slime character just in their idle animation, like they'll occasionally wave to the player, trying to create that bond with the player, and they'll turn themselves into a hand. Also it was pointed out that during combat, if you do a jump attack, they'll turn into like an anvil or anything. We just wanted to utilize. We have a character that's this amorphous thing that can change shape, and so we wanted to really utilize that.
That was cool. You turned to a fist right there.
You did.
I saw the boot. I'm like, I'm gonna be a boot all day.
There's also like hats out there where you can personalize your slime, and so you'll actually change the silhouette of your slime to kind of personalize.
That's fun.
Anywhere from like, what is it? We have like you have sunglasses or like spikes coming out the top of your slime's head. There's like a top hat, slime top hat. Yeah, we wanted to try to add as much.
I'm doing two things at one time,
as much as
but
possible,
like I
so
wonder if they asked the question I had. I played the previous one.
Like section when you were, or a tree system. What was
These are skills that I can equip, which are the ones that the slime character is learning from, or sort of gaining from all the different enemies. And then there's my menu here where I can equip my weapons.
Make sure y'all wish list like all the games.
In the
I'm gonna try and get the.
Actually, there's a second slot underneath that main slot.
I'm gonna try and get the link
and then add that secondary.
of the store.
So if you added a projectile to your whirlwind right now,
put in the chat.
It changes the properties of that skill.
Oh wow! Okay, let's.
So you can get duplicates of the skills, but that's because you can mix and match them, and then the order matters also.
Tight. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
And then you'll see a third slot, like later in the game, you'll find damage types. So you can add like burning damage or ice damage, or I think we have like 12 different damage types that will be able to customize your skills even more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about the release. Like, you're eking towards the release.
We're getting so close. So we I mentioned it earlier. This is our first public demo on Steam. That is now available that players can do.
Oh, it's up now.
Experience it. So we're really excited for people to get in there, get their hands in there, get feedback from that. And then we're working on getting this game out this year. We don't have a specific date set, but we're getting close, and so it's great to just get this public demo out and see what the player base is like, and hopefully they can join our Discord and we can interact with them. And we're really open with like getting feedback and responding to players, so we're really excited for this demo to be out.
What platforms?
Yeah, so right now the demo is going to be available on Steam. We are developing the game for multiple platforms. Right now we've only announced Xbox for sure when we initially launch, but we are looking at other platforms potentially.
That's awesome.
But this demo will be on Steam.
The game looks really dope. The progression of it is so awesome, and it's great to see that you've built a team that can put together something that is this exquisite. You know what I'm saying?
The team's been great. Like we're a small team. We're 7 now, but a lot of them are like first time in the industry, and they're just really passionate and want to like. There's just as much excited for Slime Heroes as I am. So like it's been great being able to work with all of them.
Awesome.
Making new heroes out of Slime Heroes.
Dude, yeah, that's great. So where can we find out more about the game? Pancake Game Studios, which I love the name. I would have named it Flapjacks, you know what I'm saying? Just to add levity to it, but I'm just
I'm getting hungry. So you can definitely check us out. Like probably our most like active social media is Twitter, and the handle is @slime_heroes. And that's where we're probably most active, but we're hitting that TikTok. We're on Instagram, but yeah, Twitter is probably the most active. And then obviously, if you get on there, you should be able to, or on Steam, you can find our Discord. Definitely join our Discord. We're growing that out right now, and after this, probably our next steps we'll probably do some closed betas and try to get more feedback from players. So definitely join our Discord and look out for that. But yeah, check out our Steam and try the demo out, and then give us feedback on our Discord. That'd be great.
I'm looking
definitely
for
check the game out, wish listed, play the demo, support. Thank you so much, Tomas.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, we gotta start this whole interview over again.
Black Voices in Gaming and y'all like just like I feel so grateful because I feel like I wouldn't have been here if I hadn't had y'all's support. So
I mean, it's awesome to be able to connect and do what we can, man.
Yeah.
Your voice needs to be heard. So
thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Tomas. Awesome stuff. I can't wait to get my hands on that game.
Yeah, same.
Like, it's so dope and beautiful. It's also inspiring, for folks who want to get into the industry, whether it's AAA or they want to become independent. that's something to strive for. So
this is invigorating, through some hard times in the industry. That should be acknowledged, that there's still an opportunity for developers to create really amazing things. And
thanks,
Moss and Pancake, the rest of the team is doing exactly that. So yeah, really inspired.
Thank you, Tomas, for sharing Slime Heroes. It is looking incredible, and congrats on signing with the publisher, funding, and making an impact in the space.
So is it the second one?
Well, that is our show, folks. Remember to check out the Guerrilla Collective event page on Steam, where you can learn more about the BVIG titles, buy the available games, or add them to your wish lists. Wish lists help the devs a ton. I can't say it anymore. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and play the demos. Check out the games. You know what I mean? Much love.
I'm really trying to get
shout
this
out to our partners for today's showcase: PlayStation, Raw Fury, Razer, Wilson Sonsini, and Humble Bundle for rocking with us this year and every year. Again, Black Voices in Gaming is a nonprofit that helps the developers in the culture who are making dope games through funding, accelerator programs, networking events, and showcases. Head on over to Humble Bundle to check out the latest bundle that will directly help the BVIG organization, and hit up our Tiltify and Streamlabs charity pages as well. Thanks to our broadcasting partners Twitch, IGN, Steam, and GameSpot for their support and hosting us. Thanks to the Experience Studios team, the BVIG advisors, the Mix team, and Tracy for being allies. Thanks to Derek for rocking with me on the hosting tip. You were so great and awesome. Follow us on Twitter or X at BVI Gaming, and everywhere else at Black Voice in Gaming.
Next up is going to be Danes for Games, y'all.
Sick gear. We got all kinds of stuff.
Here's the link.
Yourself. Thanks for rocking with us. We had a blast introducing you to some great games, developers, and people making moves.
So next up is going to be Danes for Games.
Stay tuned for the
which is up right now.
Showcase and the Stream for a Cause showcase next. They are going to be fun. Once again, I am your host, Justin Woodward, co-founder of Black Voice.
What's up, Uni?
And The Mix. See you soon. Peace.
I'll definitely go and support all the games that was featured. Is right there on that link. Shouts out to everybody with The Mix and Black Voices in Gaming. Up is Danes for Games.
Hey guys,
look at my sisters.
This is our summer showcase and we are so excited to be here. If you hadn't noticed, I'm not alone this time. I have brought along a co-host to help me introduce all of the amazing things that we have coming up and the incredible people that we are going to interview later on in the show. But I'm going to let her introduce herself because she's amazing. She's incredible, and when we first met, I loved her energy. So tell the good people about yourself.
So hello everyone. I am Diana.
I am
based currently in Austin, Texas, but I'm originally from the Bronx, so excuse me. I have been in the industry for a long while now, and I specialize in partnership management. Over the last decade, I've collaborated with some iconic IPs, and I'm just honored to be a part of this and to bring these sort of like fantastic things. When I'm not chasing people down for their JIRAs, I am also debating, movies and TV. You can catch me strategizing, and running some D&D games. I am super excited to be here, and I am so honored, and thank you so much for having me here.
No, thank you for coming on, because listen, I know it's usually my face that you guys see, and I know you're like super excited to see my face, but we are trying to bring in as many women in the industry as possible. And Diana, let's give you your flowers, because you really have done a lot in the industry. You continue to do a lot. You continue to be one of those voices that people listen to when it comes to all sorts of things. So thank you for coming on and helping me host this special showcase, because if you guys don't know, we're kind of in a block of diversity, inclusivity, all of those things. We had Black Voices in Gaming, which I know you caught, incredible developers on there, and we have Stream for a Cause, who we're partnering with, who are highlighting the LGBTQ plus community and the gamers there and the content creators and the developers. So we're kind of like just taking over, right?
Yes.
We're just, today is the day.
So, honestly.
Yeah, today is the day.
Watch out.
Okay, like we're coming for you in a positive way. In a positive way. Those weren't fighting words. We also want to thank our.
Are we fighting for all the crazy people?
This is gonna. We're already. It's a great start already. It's already. But I wanted to thank some of our partners who have helped us in the past and continue to help us. Basically help this platform flourish, and that's Twitch, that's Steam, that's IGN. You guys are just, I don't know, you've done so much. And GameSpot. Don't let me forget GameSpot. I also wanted to give a special shout out to the people who have given us money for all of our showcases. HeroCraft, y'all are the heroes of my heart. Steady. And Indie.io, formerly known as Freedom Games. Indie.io, oh my God. You don't understand how big of a deal this is. Like, we wanted to call it Indie.io, but then I was like, no, we need to put that dot in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I slipped up and didn't do it. But Indie.io, formerly known as Freedom Games, continues to be one of our biggest supporters. So thank you guys. Now, I could go on, and I always say this, but I won't. I'm just going to let the developers speak for themselves. So the first one up is HeroCraft. They created a very special video to showcase some of the women who work in their developing team, and then it's going to be followed by a lot of other developers. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. We will be back soon, won't we, Diana?
It's going to be fantastic.
This is going to be great. I'm going to go get some taquitos and some food, and then we'll be back. I'll share. I promise
do the same thing.
I'll be right back too. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Jillian. I'm a social media specialist working in the tech industry, as well as the social media manager for Dames for Games. My gaming journey started when I first picked up the Game Boy to play Pokemon Red, and since then, my passion for gaming has become such a big part of my life, and it's where I've been able to meet some lifelong friends. Gaming is truly for everyone, which is why I'm super excited to shout out one of our sponsors for this showcase, HeroCraft PC, who through their help we've been able to really organize these showcases to amplify all the amazing women developers and gamers in the gaming industry and community as a whole. With that being said, I'm super excited to introduce our next segment, which is all about cozy animal games. So snuggle up with your
I love me some cozy games.
Into some of these awesome games.
Hey Dames for Games, this is HeroCraft PC and my name is
Not important. Hey Dames for Games by HeroCraft PC, the publisher with the latest type and a women's perspective on marketing as 100.
She said, "Cut."
We do a full cycle of it, including PR, influence marketing, event participation, or
getting in touch with our players, keeping our communities running, and gathering feedback.
We also create a wide variety of video content, such as shorts, trailers, streams, and specials as this piece.
And don't forget about user acquisition and analytics
that
critically for gamers' ability on
Steam and other digital.
I was not expecting that cosplay.
We are really proud that we can bring all our passion and professional skills to make visible.
I was not expecting that cosplay at all. Thanks, Buffet Plankton, for the follow. Appreciate it.
We have awesome art department and great outsourcing specialists who help us to fill all the markers we need. And we are eager to find new cool games by enthusiastic ladies to make themselves heard. So
let's publish a game together.
Yeah, HeroCraft. Shouts out to HeroCraft.
Hello, Dames for Games. I'm Simone, co-founder and creative director at 2&I Games.
What's good?
Our newest game, Mitzi No, originated from a conversation that I had with my partner Joseph. And it all started with, wouldn't it be funny if... Mitzi No is a 2D puzzle game in which your lovely cat pushes all of your beautiful items off a table and you have to...
No, cats are disrespectful.
Since we are a super small team, I am basically in charge of all of the art. This includes designing all of the items, making animations, designing the UI,
not my camera being dumb,
and even beautifying effects. With Mitzi No, we want to create a fun, cozy, and
yes, I usually host it, co-host it with her, but I had to take care of some stuff. Like I had to take care of some stuff, so I wasn't able to do it this year. This summer, probably in the fall. But it's good to have like new faces on for sure. But in the fall most likely.
So if any of that sounds appealing to you, please wishlist the game on Steam and support us when it comes out.
But I do work with them as a consultant and stuff. So.
Hi there, my name is Ali and I'm one of the co-founders of Little Arrow Games and producer of Manitas Kitchen. As a producer, my role involves to keep everyone in synchronize, ensure everyone achieves their targets and deadlines, and of course make sure that everyone is on the same page through the development. And of course, one of the most important tasks, keep everyone alive and happy. But before we talk about our project, we need to discuss something first. Pizza. Which one is your favorite? My favorite is barbecue. It's just a classic, it works every time. Can you guess which will be our main character favorite pizza? Now let me introduce you to our latest creation, Manitas Kitchen. In this delightful cooking adventure, you'll step into the shoes of Trexito, a Durex with a passion for pizza. But there is a twist. Those tiny arms aren't exactly pizza dough. That's where you come in. Assemble a team of dinosaurs with unique skills to form the ultimate kitchen brigade, all while navigating the challenges of running a restaurant under the eye of a rather grumpy and really tiny boss. But beware, the pressure of managing a restaurant can be overwhelming, especially for Trexito. Keep a close eye on their stress levels or they might just pass out.
Thanks.
We have poured our hearts and souls into this wild
levels.
And we hope you'll have as much fun playing and helping Trexito as we did bringing this crazy concept to life.
I'm mad they got
Hi,
the bones
my name is
there.
Felia and I'm the lead 3D artist and community manager at Little Arrow Games. And my
T-Rex bones. What are the ancestors in the corner?
It's a pleasure to be able to work with a team as diverse as ours and have been able to reflect that diversity in our dinosaurs. During the almost 2 years of development of Manitas Kitchen, we've encountered many problems and changes. It has been an experience in which we have learned a lot personally and professionally.
Hello, Dames for Games. My name is Michelle Franklin. I am the narrative designer on a game called Spaceboat. The Spaceboat. I also sing the theme song. I'm also the social media manager at Recombobulator Games, a company that focuses on games that have good old fun and that have very high accessibility. I've worked on and off in games since the Wii era, and I've done a lot of narrative PC games, DS games. But today we're going to show you our latest trailer for Spaceboat, which you can wishlist right now on Steam. The demo is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, so enjoy.
What is this? Is this me? Oh, my eyes are burning, you stupid bastard.
Welcome to the Jelly Shore Boardwalk.
Looks like it's time to suit up.
Thank you for choosing the Yellowfin Tuna Cab Company.
But what is narrative design? Let's take a second to talk about what narrative design is. Narrative design is not just game design, it's not just game writing, it's actually both. And in order to be a narrative designer, you should have some game design experience, and of course you should have some game writing experience. It's not only about writing characters or world building or designing systems that players are going to interact with. Narrative design is how players interact with the game as a whole. So your narrative and your story has to fit together with the game design. I got into narrative design because I'm a writer and I actually was in game design first, and I gradually made the change from game design to narrative design because that's what I enjoyed more.
To the fellow with a question
like High on Life.
Now,
like that scene right there was like High on Life.
Well, hello.
Are you a gelatonian?
Yeah, I sure am. I'm one of the 4 sentient species found in the gelatonian cluster of United Planets. I was born on Gelatnix 2, you see, but I moved to Gelatnix 4 when I was just a little gumdrop. I've been here ever since.
Not a gumdrop.
Hey! That's me! How is this possible? We are not you. We are us. Why do you follow
Happy y'all getting through that backlog.
us?
Yeah, I beat it when it came out.
There are only 2 of us here.
Surprisingly, because y'all know me.
Run around looking like me.
It wasn't that bad. It's just that they talk too much in the game. Like, the game is fun to play High on Life. It's just that the banter, the dialogue was just overbearing. It was just too, they were doing the most with talking. It's like, come on. They would just say unnecessary things. But yeah, Uni, what else is in the backlog?
Isn't this a bit overkill for rats?
This looks good, though. I don't know. It's like a space adventure game, but you're like this cyborg cat. It looks
Hello,
like.
Thanks for Games. I'm Shondine Yazzie Woodward. I'm a co-founder and art director at Subliminal Gaming, and we're working on Button City Soccer Days. Button City Soccer Days is our follow-up to the game Button City about cute animals playing soccer. You'll play an arcade-style soccer game with fun physics and follow the original Button City crew through a tournament arc. In the story mode, you'll plan your days between games, make new rivals and friends, and explore a diorama town. I worked on the art direction in the game. Even though the art style is low poly and looks simple, I put great care into enhancing the world with little details to bring the game to life. Things like the color palette for the world was carefully thought through, and small imperfections were introduced to the 3D models so they felt more organic. I hope you enjoy Button City Soccer Days.
My name is Valentina Hawes, and I'm a 3D artist on Button City Soccer Days. Working on such a small team, the work I do changes frequently from week to week and even day to day. Sometimes I'll be making concept art, sometimes I'll be modeling soccer props, fields, and accessories, and sometimes I'll even be adding effects to juice up the soccer gameplay. And sometimes I get to make fun stuff like emotes and stickers for our Discord server as well. My biggest task in the game so far has definitely been designing and modeling the stadiums. Since these environments are so big and vast compared to the little diorama levels of Button City, trying to balance the level of detail while still maintaining a sense of scale and maintaining our cute low poly art style has been an interesting challenge. I hope players who enjoyed Button City are excited to return to our little world and its characters with this new soccer twist.
I need to finish some other stuff. This looks cute.
And we're back. I did not share my taquitos. I'm sorry, but they were quite delicious. If you were watching this
waiting for them to be delivered.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They were really, really good though. They're really good.
Jealous.
But I'm really excited because next up we have
Karlak. See it. I can see that you're like really, really hyped right now.
No. We have Karlak, like the one and only. We have Karlak coming up.
I'm sorry. Don't you mean Sam Behart?
What's up, Willie? What's up, Reggie?
Karlak coming on.
Yeah, I haven't seen my girl in a long time. Like
the actor.
Like in person, we haven't seen ever since she moved.
I mean, like
from New York.
I haven't seen interchangeable at this point, aren't they?
I will see her even
she's done a lot of they've done a lot of things, right?
No, you're right. You're right.
Thank you, Rival Drone, for the follow. I appreciate it.
A ton. But the character that won my heart over is Karlak. Look, I did the same thing with the Jason Momoa movies. You know, the ones that he's in where he's like in the water. It's just like, you know, where he's in water and he's like fighting like other fish and stuff. That
Thanks,
Jason
Johnny
Momoa movie
Tess.
was dope. Okay, and the Karlak game is dope. So I'm really excited that we have Karlak on to talk with us today. But all jokes aside, Sam is an incredible actor. She's done so many things, and she's going to come on.
Oh yeah, Sam is from Baldur's Gate.
We're actually going to take a time machine and go back in the past because you'll notice that we're wearing different clothes. So like, it's just because we're geniuses, and we took so we went to the back. Anyways, it was a full thing. It was a whole thing. It's sitting on my couch right now. It's actually really small. Okay. Anyways, guys, we're gonna jump into this interview. I know you're gonna enjoy it. They are incredible. Okay, so we'll see you after the interview.
said to you the Summer Games Fest was kind of mid. Really? Expand on that if you may. You thought it was mid? There's two sides to it, but I'm gonna explain later.
Welcome back. I'm super excited because
On how I could feel what you're saying, but
with the wonderful, the talent.
it's like on the other side, it's like all these. There are some really cool games that have been shown.
Thank you so much, Sam, for coming on and spending some time with us. Like, this is a dream come true, guys. Listen, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of the story, and I promise I'm not gonna take up a ton of your time. So what had happened was we were at the DICE Awards, and she came up and she was talking. I think you were with someone. I can't remember who exactly you were with.
That's another event I gotta hit up. I gotta hit up DICE Awards. I haven't been to a lot of events in a while, period. But that's gonna change.
Completely lost it, and like
yeah, I haven't been to a lot.
I will second that. I did witness this. I was a second witness, and I immediately was like, "Oh, jeez."
I can only apologize. Sorry.
Carla is one of my favorite characters. Listen, as soon as I saw her, and this is just a random story, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk very much. I immediately thought, I was like, this voice actor is black, because I feel like this is sister. Like, I feel this deep in my soul. And then when I saw you, I was still like, nah, I still feel it. She's still like.
Well, my mum's Jamaican, so
see,
it counts.
See, I knew it counts. It totally counts. Super side story, but I'm just saying, I felt like this connection to you.
I think she's Jamaican and Irish.
And it came through your character, and I know a ton of people are super excited to hear about your journey and your story. So I'm gonna pass the microphone over to you and let you just tell us about it. Tell us about the whole thing.
So we haven't got forever, right? So I've got to get through this quite quickly. It's a long story, but I always like stories. I did a literature degree. During the literature degree, I did a Shakespeare module. I finally understood what that was about, and I wanted to get into that side of storytelling after that. I wanted to be an actor after that, and I'd gone to Saturday classes in dance, singing, and acting, but didn't really understand acting, because I think when you're 8, 9, 10,
right,
it's just a load of kids yelling at each other. I don't understand. But then I did. I saw the Shakespeare and I fell in love with the text, and that was sort of it. And I'd been doing some amateur bits and bobs, but I knew that I needed something. I'm just not from that background. I didn't know the way in, so it took a little time. And I did something called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for Radio 4.
Oh, wow.
When they adapted the third, fourth, and fifth books after Douglas Adams had passed. And I was very lucky. I got in right at the end, kind of like Indiana Jones's hat being pulled out from. Yeah, I felt like the hat because I played the main character's daughter in the last book. So
that's incredible.
Cool. And then since then, we did a live tour together as well, about say 12 years ago now. And so that was the story to dine out on, but I still didn't think I was a particularly good actor, and I wanted to be a good all-rounder. And in the UK, most of us train in the sort of Shakespearean theatre training, and the idea is that should allow you to do anything. So the two things I didn't train in were audio and games, and that's what I've done. Pretty almost exclusively. I've done some theatre as well, but so I there's a reason I'm about to brag. It will become apparent very quickly. I got into every drama school I auditioned for. They wanted me everywhere, but when I got out the other end, commercially, not a sausage. No one was interested.
Not a sausage.
What I was told repeatedly in different ways was that I didn't look British. I didn't look like I was from London.
How are you supposed to look British?
Because it's like, have you been to the major world?
Isn't it like?
Wait a minute, like wait, it's a freaking melting pot. And like in London alone.
Those decisions.
Oh yeah.
Mad West Indians, mad African,
was commercial.
mad
you said the commercial
Arabic.
Was,
I don't.
And funny enough, I see myself in commercials when they're trying to hit lots of regions at the same time. Right.
It's the same thing when they want to say, "Oh, you don't look American." What is that supposed to mean? That I don't look white. I don't get it. Like, that's around the world, the conception around the world. I'm looking American. What does that mean?
I mean, two people couldn't decide, and I thought the ambiguity.
Then it's just that you look native.
On a lot of American stuff where I thought,
and then I would fit that bill.
Not in the UK. So I had a really tough problem getting started. But I had that amazing audio credit, and I kind of got back in. I've always been into sci-fi and fantasy anyway. And funnily enough, in sci-fi and fantasy audio, they don't care what you look like. It doesn't matter. And even like gender-wise, because I'm non-binary, if you're playing a woman who is kind of action-based, you're gender non-conforming anyway. So it's been a very safe place for me
I feel that I've been employed on merit, believe it or not. And I've been playing games for a long time. I just didn't really know how they were made. We'll get to this in a bit, I imagine. That's kind of why that crusade is happening. The games appeared. I was playing them. I didn't really know. I didn't really get the idea that I could maybe hop across. And audio and games are so related, but the industries aren't. And
RPGs in general.
Gatekeepers. On the one hand,
I love, especially RPGs, you get to make your own character and how you want them to look.
All the time.
Especially if they have a great job at diversifying different features and hair textures.
Excavation of Hobbs Barrow, and that was
all kind of stuff.
That was a big lead role for me, and people saw it. And
shapes and sizes.
Someone from Larian, when Twitter was working and it hadn't been taken over yet, I could see things in order that they'd been written in, and there weren't porn bots everywhere. It was very clear. And I just started noticing a couple of people were just, very, very
There's been
kindly
some fire
tweeting about it.
I gotta get
Larian. So I slid into those DMs and said,
"Hey, that's what you gotta do.
That's how you do it."
If there's a significantly large role, because you got to be careful what you wish for. If I'd just gone like, if there's a role, yeah, I would have got a tiny role. Yeah. So I said, if there's a, a good significant role, because obviously it's done. You're years into this, obviously you're done, please let me audition, and that was it really. And there's a whole, if you want to get into the casting, we can do that, but it took 2 years and 3 people to get me that role, let's put it that way. I've been dancing around on the outside of it.
Let me know, because I need somebody to play with. I have Baldur's Gate on PC. Need some people to play with.
The rest is history. But I've been waiting all this time to do it, and why it relates to theatre and everything, of course, is because you're in a mocap suit. It's a full body performance, not this so much, but they were there was cameras, so they were looking at the facial performance, if not tracking it, if that makes sense. And I was working with movement directors who use theatre language, so I was very much at home there, actually. So I think that's the journey.
That's
in less than half an hour.
No. Listen, you summed that up.
Am I gonna get Shinigami Tensei 5 Vengeance this Friday? I don't know. Like I have Shinigami, like the 5th one, but I haven't played it.
I didn't realize that.
And I heard that
for that.
I don't need to play the first one. I could just go into that one. So maybe so.
Like people talking in a booth. Like you have animators on the other side making sketches and things like that, but it's not the same. So like getting to hear about that, because we had Sissy Jones on and she talks a little bit about her journey and things like that, but like this is another aspect of it. Also, I would not even expect it to be that hard for you to get roles. Like I know
that's crazy.
I know we kind of breezed over it, but like come on,
especially because she has an ambiguous look
on Hollywood. Like it's exhausting.
You know how
this is kind of why we're doing this showcase, to just be like, representation matters, diversity matters, and we don't all look the same. And a lot of us would like to see people who look like us in these roles. So,
but there are a lot of people who do look like us. We just never see them.
Yes,
never see them.
Ourselves, and we're like, what? I'm seeing you in real life, but apparently you don't exist in my stories. And that raises so many questions about why. Who is making that decision about who gets to tell the stories? Why are they telling the same story over and over again? It's I feel in video games and prestige TV that's changing quite a lot, especially stateside. UK loves making its period dramas, and apparently I don't exist in a period drama. There's never been a mixed race person until now.
Of course not. No.
That
crazy.
But that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother topic. We're about to say it. But even the period dramas, like they are even doing those incorrectly.
I'm proud to be a part of it.
And I love it because you know what? Just a little side note there. I've never seen anybody who looks like Karlak, but I wish I had. And you've definitely brought a lot of life to that role. And like what I said earlier is like I felt like, oh my God, I could totally connect with this person. Like we understand things culturally. And I think it was just the way that like you were allowed to express yourself.
They just let me do what I wanted. So it was more about just make sure you get the story across. They didn't release me in any way.
That's fire.
They were happy with what I did in that audition, and they went go with it, and that was just an instinctive response. So it was a very
That's like the best acting too.
With the hundreds of hours of material that was shot. Have you seen Athena? By the way, she's a black wrestler, and she's retained her title. And she is like, now that's for me, the world's top cosplayer, because you have the physical and like she can fight. She can toss someone across a battlefield. I was so happy, and then she turns out, of course, she's a fan, which totally makes sense if you're a female wrestler.
Right, and I saw it on your Twitter actually, and I was just like, whoa. Like she looks the part. Like
I was so happy. I did, because you think, you know, oh, this is the end of the ride. You know, we're gonna get off now, and we had the symphony last weekend.
Oh no.
It's gonna go on.
It's not always about needs to travel. A lot of times you travel and you still end up with the same experience from where you are in your home, like where you grew up or was born. And you still experience the same BS. So, like, regardless of the fact. And yes, with UK, there's different drama, like, as far as TV courses and stuff, and you'll still get typecast or put into a bubble when you are not in a bubble. Mentally, but you're put into one.
No, she's fab, and she's
like, that happens all the time with us.
Comes out in a particular
like, all the time.
There's a lot of fear, and she's hiding, you know. Maybe she doesn't want to be a liability to the team. You know, that was always in my head, because that helped me, you know.
That's why she expanded to video games with acting, because with a voice, you can voice all different types of characters.
But she's trying, because I think this is a second chance for her. You know, the person she was before the Hells was not a great person. She was not a nice person. And that's how she got duped, but she was working for a gangster and she knew it. She knew that, and now this is the second chance, and this is the redemption arc. She's gonna go down on her terms, and I think that's what a great role to be given like that. It's a heroic role, you know. The writing's astounding. The directors were, you know, again, still from film and TV and theatre, and they were coming in with that discipline, and we were so well supported. You know, they were our eyes and ears, because obviously they couldn't always show us the worlds we were in, and it helped that I played a bit in D&D before, so I had some reference. Otherwise I think it would have taken twice as long, because they sit there and describe it to you, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the beauty too is that you've played the DMV, so you've had the theater of the mind, you've done that already. And I think you having not necessarily your start, but really the start in audio really also helps a lot, because it's very I don't think people realize that, like,
voice acting is to me more difficult.
When it's just audio in general, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. People just think, oh, I'm just gonna be talking, and that's
funny voices.
Funny voices.
Like Michael K. Williams, rest in peace. He was like, that was his most difficult role he's ever played, and that was for Battlefield. Like, he said it was a lot. He said it was a lot.
But also, if you're concentrating on the accent more than the acting, it's going to come across as a bit weird. It feels like the unloved cousin of film and theatre and TV.
It's true.
It really is. You know, in the UK, it's seen as the equivalent of a pub job for a famous actor. That, you know, they'll do a bit of audio for a bit between big jobs.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's not respected in any way. And again, the most liberating, I think, of them all. You know, it's. I was talking to Emma Gregory on this show. That's my show, about all of this, and she has Shakespearean pedigree to a degree. I don't think anyone else on it does. Maybe Andrew Wincott a bit, but it's going to be Emma. And you know, just had so much respect for audio. She's done a lot herself, and how much more it demands, because I guess so much of the work's invisible.
Right. No,
I think it's the theater of the mind, because it's the person that needs to fill in. It's the, you know, I've been listening, you know, I've been listening to a lot of like audio, not just audio podcasts, but audio dramas. These last couple of years that have just like, they've become a lot more popular, and I'm happy for that. And so there's a very significant difference between like, you know, where you know that people have been professionally like trained in the audio, in audio acting and voice acting, to like folks who are like, let's just put together a show. And so anyway, it's just a testament of you, and it's a testament of like, you know, what your origins and where it came from, where you came from.
Tracy Wiles and I met a few times over the years with an incredible director called Dirk Maggs, who's seen as a Steven Spielberg of audio, basically. And he adapts big sci-fi and fantasy things, and the big one for us was The Sandman, which we did for Audible. And you know, that was one of those things where you just had to, like, if you're in the room, you're on, you know. But it's so visual, isn't it? I mean, perfect for a comic book adaptation that they said couldn't be adapted. because your mind fills in all the blanks. Of course, you've got the sound effects and everything, but your mind does a lot of the work too. I think it's just, yeah, it's an incredible format.
Hey, Eddie.
After we were talking to Sissy, she also brought up the fact that like it's not just you going in. Like you can't just go in. You need some training and some background. And you have a lot of people who think they can just jump into voice acting and talk, and it's
become
so much more than that. Yeah, and it's so much more.
That's
than that.
interesting
Like,
too. Like it's nothing wrong also to getting a role to portray someone of the same heritage or race. Just bring that cultural aspect and depth to the character, but it's very interesting too when you have, let's say, a black voice actor and they are voicing a white character. And I say that because there's not that many voice actors and actresses in the industry as a whole and voice work. So it's not being so much dominated by this actor keeps getting the same role, you know, all these various roles. And there's others that can do it too. But it's great to be a chameleon, like as far as like having that chameleon aspect to your acting as a voice over actor and stuff. It's very interesting.
Okay, so I wanted to ask a couple of questions, and then I want you to talk a little bit about It Takes a Village, because you have your own podcast, which is really incredible. The one question I wanted to ask, and I'm sure like a lot of people want to know, what was the first video game that you ever played that like really got you into gaming?
Well, as a performer or as a gamer?
No, just as a gamer. As a dames for games.
Because I've been borrowing older brothers' controllers for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to say Mortal Kombat 2. That was fun.
Oh,
but in terms of, like
combat all day.
I stayed on, so I'd practice, and I was quite good, and then made boys cry, which is one of my favorite hobbies. To this day, it's very easy to make boys cry on the internet. There's nothing that some of them do but cry on the internet. But I'd say Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Just because there was this narrative, and I was, you know, absorbed in a way that would make me a psychopath if I gave the same answer for Mortal Kombat 2. So I will say that it just had everything. I loved it so much. It really stayed with me. Yeah.
No, I love that. That's a good game. I'm sure a lot of our audience will agree. So
it's a good comfort game, you know.
It is a good comfort game. Yeah. It is. So tell us a little bit about It Takes a Village, because you've been doing some incredible things, and I've been dying to ask about all of that.
So It Takes a Village is an interactive chat show on Twitch, and the reason we're visible is because I'm trying to make people who don't get their flowers visible, and that's pretty much everyone in the games industry. So I can take my pick. I've been going to socials for years. As I said, there's very few gatekeepers. In fact, there aren't really any. What it is you know, a composer or a community manager might be the person that gets you the audition. In Larian's case, it's the head of publishing. You know, it wasn't a casting director, it wasn't an agent. And we're doing the same. You know, I can maybe get a composer a job if someone's having difficulties. Also sound design, you know, all of that. It's pure old school networking, and the nepotism hasn't come into this industry yet. It may do, but at the moment, it's really nice. It's a really nice place to be. Yes. Peer. I know, like, once money gets involved.
Yeah.
But among ourselves, we've had some really good friendships, and I've been doing this.
That's the one project really
now.
bad.
I don't really want to put a number on it because it's been quite some time. There was no day when I made the plunge. I was just going to things, and I felt really safe. So now that I had an audience, because I was streaming Karlak-based Karlak, and I had this audience, I went, do you want to be known for that forever or not? And also CRPG.
That is
not my
biracial.
forte. I didn't think I was so interesting to watch. We did a few of those. We had an audience. We got monetization.
Latino is not a race.
And I have a QR code on screen, and we have a charity every month. We try and theme it with some sort of world.
I don't know who was
or something, but
I don't know
it's
who
been
was
really
the voice
good.
actor. I don't
$14,000.
remember.
$15,000 for charities. But I try at least twice a month to try and get someone who's been underrated. Sometimes,
but it would have been nice to see a Latin, a Hispanic, because you don't get to see those actors and voice actors as much for the characters to add a texture and depth to the role. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Spotlight for you. You get your spotlight, and you get your spotlight, and that's
because when you don't see them or hear them, it's a problem. Like it is.
Oh my god! No, that's incredible.
It's like I wanted a Indian American.
Like all of us. And just trying to make
I have
sure
an Indian American character.
You know, women are seen.
I want to get an Indian American person to voice because it's just something extra that's going to be added instead of me just getting a white voice actor. to play that role. Like,
yeah,
it's because there's a void not filled. If there was a void fulfilled and there was so many, then it wouldn't really matter. Because it's not that many to get that role, you will want someone to have
there's
it.
a lot of people.
I think that's what a lot of people miss
There's a lot of people
when it
buying
comes to
coffee,
that.
and you're just as important as anybody else because it takes like a whole village, right?
It does. It does.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our interview. Sam, again, thank you so much. If people want to find you,
yes,
and I know you're not hard to find.
It's not hard to find. So they'll all be under my
And now
name, right?
people are seeing and voices are being heard on the problem of certain things not being fulfilled because of not hiring the people for it.
To scream into is Twitter. I'm not on Instagram.
Then when we make our own projects,
Twitter till Elon takes it off my cold dead.
then they want to scream out, "Oh, you're being a separatist." I separated us from the beginning.
Forever.
I would look at you sideways if you called it
anything. Yeah,
if you like anything else.
But if there was everything was fulfilled and there was no voids, then cool, like no problem. But
Only in his tower.
that's dope. Her story is really dope on how she got into voice acting from her acting already. But it's dope. Can't wait to see the rest of the games about this show.
Bye.
A great interview, ladies. Great interview.
Okay, so we're back. That was incredible. That was.
Especially how they met. They met at DICE.
Know that on a daily basis.
I could stand up.
I love the in-person events because you get to meet so many different people
like all the time, just like,
all over the place, and then you can end up working together on something.
Hi, Sam. What are you doing, Sam?
Shameless. And what I mean, classically trained Shakespearean actor. Hello.
That's fire.
Come on.
Not even that. I didn't know that Sam was half Jamaican.
That's fantastic.
That was incredible. That's like, you heard it here, guys. Like, those are some things you never even like noticed about people. But her culture and things like, it's a part of what comes out of her when she's acting.
That's what I was trying to say.
Listen,
it will come out.
Slipping into her DMs on a daily.
It will come out. That's what's so beautiful about just having different cultures a part of stuff.
I'm in constant awe of them, like constant awe.
To learn different things and perspectives.
That was so much fun. All I could do was just like sit there and just like listen. I could probably have gone for like another hour.
The only crime is that our interviews are so short, because there's so many things that you can learn from these individuals who are in the industry and doing incredible things. So let's just give a shout out to Sam again. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk with us. It was incredible. Going back into time just to do that, I'd do it all over again. I would.
Definitely. But do not into their DMs and tell them let's hang out.
I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it right now.
Hey.
And while I'm doing that, you guys stay tuned because we have so much more happening. Oh my God, they just messaged me back, guys. I'm create a group message in WhatsApp.
Can you do that, please?
I'm gonna do that right now. All right, guys, stay tuned. We have so much more coming up, and we will see you back here in a bit.
Hi y'all, my name is Kate Sanchez. I have been in the industry for about 6 years as the editor-in-chief and site runner of BVIG.net. I got into gaming because of a person named Lara Croft. My mom bought me a PlayStation and Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2 when I was really
looking at all her figures.
My
statues.
Gateway into the world of gaming and dynamic platforming, and I've been in love with it ever since. And I continue to work within the industry because I believe that gaming is one of the best ways to build community and connect with others, and also grow ourselves by playing new stories from new voices and diverse voices, as well as embracing and breaking all the boundaries that we think that gaming and its gameplay styles can be. If you want to know more about me, you can find me over on Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everything at OhMammothRandier, and you can follow my work at BVIG.net and all of our socials at BVIGPC. That being said, I want to say thank you for your continued support and stay tuned for what we have next, which is a group of video games with eccentric gameplay that do just what I said like 20 seconds ago, that push the bounds of what we think games can be.
Hey everyone, I'm Whitney, and this is my daughter Nova.
Hi.
And together with the rest of our family, we are working on a monster taming RPG called Alchemic Beasts.
Oh.
I'm the lead developer, programmer, and audio designer.
And I help with organization, project management,
That's so
and
fire.
pixel art.
She does the pixel art?
Tyrell and Adonis also do pixel art and monster designs. Nathan, Joseph, and Victor, they do monster voices.
The whole family.
And Lucas, along with the rest of us, we all do story and writing.
Alchemic Beasts is a monster taming RPG adventure set in our ever-expanding universe, the Celestial Tier. You play as Zeke, a guy who thinks he can tame the most unruly beasts there are and control them, but his pride takes a hit when he dies trying to tame a particularly dangerous one. Once discovered on a shore near Mizu Village, the main hub of the game, mad scientist Mione brings him back to life in her lab.
Thank you,
He spies all
Descendant
kinds of
Unbound,
weird
for the
creatures,
follow.
naturally
Appreciate it.
mutating into weird, crazy versions of themselves. Excitement overcomes him as he thinks of ways to use them in combat, and she offers him one in exchange for bringing back data on its behavior out in the world. Zeke and the beast quickly grow a bond, and with tunnel vision, he aims to use the help of its new friend to capture the very creature that killed him.
We'd like to thank Danger Games for giving us the opportunity to showcase our game Alchemic Beasts. If you'd like to follow the development, join us on Patreon.
That's so fire. The whole, she has the, that is so dope. The whole family is developing the game.
My family on my first game, Alchemic Beasts, and I'm hoping it's something the
I gotta interview them. I have to interview the family. I have to interview the family. I get what you're saying with the jazz situation. As far as Yoroichi, that was quite different, and it was like a weird situation with the situation with Yoroichi and the reason why they. That's my thing up.
Your tavern, the Wayfarer's Inn, is a place where you meet a cast of colourful adventurers. Mix magical drinks to help your patrons succeed on their quests. Listen to stories, gather rumours, and forge them into new quests. Explore the stories of more than 18 different characters that are visiting your tavern. Experience a game about found family and with a lot of nerdy humor. Dive into a new fantasy world with a deep lore and a big mystery to uncover. Don't forget to pet your dragon familiar. They're doing such an amazing job slapping up all your mistakes. Tavern Talk, coming this June.
A nice cozy game. Look at the what was that? Is that called a Kirby too? I did not like those toys. I forgot. Rejected dreams. Oh. This looks chaotic and fire. I still can't get over that whole family making a video game. Like, that is so dope. The whole family is making a freaking video game. That is so dope to get like your kids involved and like introduce them to things like that. So dope.
Welcome to Pixelia.
Definitely wish any games y'all see, definitely wishlist them because it helps the developers gauge the interest of the game.
Such as reading a book, cooking, or painting. There are many job opportunities for you to explore.
Right there is the link to see some of the games that are going to be featured.
If none of this is for you, strut your way to stardom under the spotlights, or strum your sweet guitar songs on the street.
Logo is messing up. What's it called? Pixelia?
You have complete control over how your Pixelian will look and how you want to decorate your space. With a variety of flooring, wallpaper, and furniture. The choice is yours.
The Pixelia? Published establishment. Reality break. Fire. Oh, this is shoot 'em up. Yo. Thank you, Nuss Gaming Dupar. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Reality break. That joint look dope. I love me a shoot 'em up game. Air Garden.
Hi, I'm Fayan, also known as Mellowmix. I'm an artist and solo game developer from the Philippines.
Yo, shouts out to the game like the solo game developers, because I
Mostly
don't know
working
how
on
y'all do.
fabric and wallpaper prints, as well as my own small, slow fashion brand. As an artist, I love creating my own little worlds. And game development is kind of the perfect medium for this, where I can use coding to make my art come to life. So last year, I started learning game development, and so far I've made a few tiny cozy games involving playing with kittens, gardening, and decorating. Right now I'm working on Air Garden. It's a cozy game where you grow plants and pop bubbles to clear away toxic air, slowly revealing the beautiful garden you've made. In Air Garden, some plants produce clean air, which you use to grow more plants. And some plants absorb toxic air. And some plants do both. Some plants have special effects, like boosting other plants. Plants also affect each other in different ways. They get a bonus from having just the right number of plants nearby, but they become unhappy if they get overcrowded. Plants also interact with the environment. Different types of soil affect plants in different ways, like making them grow faster or making them produce bubbles that you can pop to get more clean air. The early demo of Air Garden is up on itch.io, with over 7,000 browser plays so far. I made this game at a time when I needed something to cheer myself up, so I'm really happy to hear from players that it's been such a positive experience for them as well. Players have said things like it's very soothing, satisfying, and that it lowers blood pressure. Not a medical claim, but definitely highly encouraging feedback for me as I continue working on this game. You can find links to my games and socials at mellowminx.com. Thank you for watching, and thanks so much to Damesburg Games for including me in this showcase.
I like that. Nice and cozy. Nice and cozy.
We're back. We're back. Sorry. That time I was in the DMs with somebody completely different, so don't worry. I was in the DMs with our next guest who's coming up, Verda Maloney, who is incredible. Has done so many things and continues to do so many things in the industry. Listen, she's my spirit animal. She doesn't realize that, but she is my spirit animal. I want to be just
I have admired Verda from afar for such a long time, so it is a great honor to have been able to to speak to her. I'm really excited about that.
So you guys, you don't even know, like, she's gonna drop some knowledge on y'all today, some knowledge bombs, and
open up those ear holes.
Just listen, and be receptive of the messages, because it's so important. And she's going to tell you why it's important. So stay tuned and check out this next interview with the amazing Verda.
Verda. Verda is transitioning from the Gamehers. She's one of the founders of the Gamehers, and then she's coming with her own project.
I feel really grateful that women, and very specifically Black women, can feel seen, heard, and healed in my social spaces. And it just connects us.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here with our second interview, the beautiful, the illustrious Verda. She's done so much in the game industry and just for women in general, and we are going to jump right into it as she talks about how she is going to be continuing and moving her journey forward. She has some news for us, and I'm pretty excited to jump into that. And she told us a little bit about it before, but we wanted to save it so you guys could hear about it. So Verda, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do and your plans for the future.
My name is Verda Maloney, pronouns she, her, and my motto in life, for those that have known me, is that I'm all love with appropriate doses of rage.
I love that.
It is, and I live at the intersection of love and rage. And so that is how I found myself co-founding the Gamers 4 years ago. And I think some of the things that people don't know is, like, being, I think, more prevalent, if you will, in the video game space. I've had a whole life and career around really just like liberatory practices, doing anti-racism work, anti-oppression work, doing education, like all of these things. And so where I find myself today is kind of this beautiful mashup of all of those things. And the other thing that I always share with people is, I don't know, I grew up not thinking you could be kind of what they call now a multi-hyphenate and just do a lot of things. And I'm the center of that, right? And so I've just been really fortunate to find people that have let me, like, kind of be myself, as I figure out this path on the journey, which has led me here to this wonderful conversation today.
No, that's pretty incredible. And I never really thought about that, right? Because I think like growing up, we're kind of in the same kind of generation. Like you get that one job and that's your career for your life and then you retire from it. But things have changed so much. And I feel like we as women and women of color have to continue to fight for our place in spaces to be seen, heard, and respected, which is why we have the Game Hers, which is why we have Dames for Games and all these other platforms. One of my questions is that as you're moving forward and you've started Game Hers, it's been incredible. You have do you guys still have the app? I think you created an app and I got to be on the I got to test that out and be on the beta. I'm really shy, so I didn't talk as much as I should have. But that was really incredible. Tell me some of the things that you have
weird, Destiny.
Because I know if the Verda I know has anything going on, you've got some big things going on.
I think that's awesome. I think that the funny thing about that is like I never think they're super big, so I just kind of I try to just honestly just live in my truth and also find spaces that are going to honor that. And so I think when you're doing that, and I try to be like ever present, I think it's one thing to think about the past, to think about the future, but to be ever present. And so for me, the company I started called 45 Lemons about 7 years ago, officially, with my best friend in this universe and all others. We met, first day freshman year of college, and we've been together since.
Wow,
I love that.
Black woman who's like, she's from Ghana, and we just really clicked and connected a lot over this experience of I'm first gen, so my family's not from the US, and so she was born in Ghana and came here at a young age, and we kind of really bonded over that. And I think that story is important because as women, as Black women, finding spaces where we can feel a certain level of like camaraderie with others, where we can have conversations that we don't have to have, if you know what I mean. You're in a space and you can like see something go down, you just give each other that look, and you're like, okay,
the look, it's the look. It's all it takes.
That look, yo.
Totally get it, and we get with each other what we need. And so for me, I am wanting to create more of those spaces where we can be together as Black people, as Black women, as Black, Indigenous, and folks of color, having these conversations about like kind of getting it. And particularly right now within, I think, gaming, tech, and all of the other worlds. And so my goal is to, one, help create and craft and share our stories in ways that are going to propel us forward. And that's where I'm kind of future thinking. I think that too often we get left in either the present moment or the past as women and as Black folks, even though we are literally the future. Like, I almost think like everyone is trying to be us or be like us or do what we do just by showing up. But while we're in that moment, it kind of doesn't feel like that until we're
Doesn't feel like that.
7 steps ahead, and it's like
everybody want to be till it's time to be.
Like the body that you want or that you want.
Full booty.
When I was living in it, y'all were like not trying to check for me. So I think it's one, like sharing and talking about those stories. I think it's also as women in spaces that are typically male dominated. It's for me about not trying to become the beast that we intend to slay. Not trying to, because that's how we see it going. And so when you start a company, you start a new studio, you start a new this,
that's
there are
a
some
bar.
moments where I see us as women perpetuating the same oppressive states and ways of being that we were trying to escape. And so I want to create spaces and conversations where different industries, but we can come together and talk about how do we just not do that? Like, we just really have to stop. And I think it's going beyond just the basic conversation of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm moving into what does it mean to create liberatory spaces where we can be liberated and free, lean into the joy that exists around being a Black woman, and at the same time acknowledge,
because I think that gets misconstrued. That gets very misconstrued.
And not feeling like a check mark or anything like that, and
exactly,
on a list.
Yeah, and that we're not doing that. And so how do we like lean into that? And so I am going to be starting, and I have a name, but it's not like official yet, so I'm not going to share it yet, but like a subsidiary of my company, 45 Lemons, that's really like literally pro-Black, pro-woman, pro-tech, pro-gaming, like all of these things, where we can come together. And what I'd love to see is how we have conversations across industries. I have worked in so many, right? So I was a school principal, I was in education, I was a teacher, I've coached leaders and other people that were doing startups. I've done my own startups, I've worked in nonprofit, I've worked in for-profit. And at the core of all of that was I was really mad about some of the stuff that was happening. And when I say that rage and I say it's appropriate, we should be angry. We should be angry that we don't see ourselves represented and that other people should be angry about it too. We should not have to carry the torch of the anger about it, right?
Yeah, I don't expect other people to be as angry because
and then
it's
the other
not going
side
to
is
get
love.
it.
Like I am like so
Like,
I'm
it's
probably
not
too
gonna get it.
nice.
And that's all. That's fine.
Like working on that.
I'm not going
right?
to convince
But
somebody
I
to
try
try
not
and
to
be
take
upset
it as
either.
weakness. And that has been one of the
Like,
things that I have
either get it or you don't.
loved about being within the video game space. It's conversations like this. It's the fact that the gamers can exist, so can Dames for Games, so can anything that all of us decide to do in the future. It is abundant. There are abundant opportunities for all of us to kind of
and it all feeds into it too. It all feeds into it, and we have to give ourselves that, you know, I don't want to say the permission, because I feel like that's like, you know, somebody's giving me it, and that's not what I'm saying. But it's like we have to give ourselves that agency to say that, like, it's all connected. It's okay. It's okay. Like it all
that
works
we all have
together.
it.
It all belongs together.
Yeah, it all belongs together. And so I think that's what's exciting about it. And so yes, I'm gonna start my own thing in this space that's really rooted in all the love and all the rage and what do we do about it, but bringing people together around that with all the experience that I've had. And so I'm really genuinely excited about that, and I think it's really important to honor our journeys because
absolutely,
they've been
Bro.
The journey has been journeying. Okay,
it's been journeying.
Right?
But I think one of the incredible things about this is that you have been so successful, whether you see it or not and don't think it's a big thing. You have been so successful, and having women like you on the platform to talk about your successes is really important. And I love what you're trying to do, like where you create this space where we're allowed to talk about like our success and in our liberation. The reason why these things are so important is because it is the exception. And you hear people say, why do they have a Dames for Games? Or why do they have Black voices in gaming? Because it's the exception and it should be the norm. And we create these spaces so that you guys can realize, like, it should be the norm. Why do we have Stream for a Cause? Like, why are we focusing on these things? Because there's still politically a big issue. And just within our industry, just within corporate America, we are still hiding people, and that shouldn't be hidden. And we're still not giving people their flowers that should be getting their flowers, because it takes all of us to make these things work. You have some very prominent people who are doing amazing things, and you've never even heard of them before because we don't talk about them.
We don't talk about
and then also they also need to justify. I think a lot of the time for us, we constantly need to justify why we're here. Do you know what I mean? And it's like the rest of our peers who are on the same level don't have to
justify nothing.
We have to work
justify.
double, triple, quadruple hard.
That person's there because DEI.
I have my
so they didn't get hired because of their experience and their talent.
Until we get to a point where that is not necessary, these spaces are necessary.
Exactly. And when we get to the place where they're not necessary, they're icing, right? It's beautiful to still have it. And I think that there was this thing I heard, and I can't remember where it was, but if you think of college courses and how like there's like the college curriculum and liberal arts, but all of the electives have to do with like, okay, you have to take an elective in order for it to be about like Black women. Right? Or in order for it to be a women's, like now they have like, yes, women's studies, things like that. But because there was a fight for that to even be studied, until we don't have to fight for those types of things to be just included as part of the general everything, that is why the spaces are necessary. And I think the other thing that's really important for people to understand is that we are not doing this so that people that are not Black won't have. We are not doing this so that men won't have. We are doing this because what people have to fully understand is that if you can and do liberate those that systems typically marginalize, everyone will be free. It's not about, right? Like everyone will have an opportunity. If within gaming, we don't have to always talk about how women are not represented in the ways that we want to, in the ways that are more, various and diverse than what they are right now. Like when we get to a place where that's not the case, everyone is going to benefit. And I think often,
everyone has always
we
benefited.
get to see like how
all the
just
time.
like how beautifully diverse all of this is, and how knowing that and being a part of that really helps everyone. So I just feel like those are some of the things that I want to lean into, and I think it's going to take honest conversations like these. It's going to take creating spaces like this, because so often, I think Diana, you were saying this, that you won't know the story unless someone tells you sometimes.
Yeah.
And you just got to believe it when you hear it. Like, that's the other thing. Like, don't act like you're not telling the truth, okay? Like,
like for real.
Exactly.
No, that's incredible. And people just, you guys, you got to listen. You have to listen. Diversity is so beautiful.
It is.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, look at all the shades that we have on the screen right now. Diversity is so beautiful. Look at all of the incredible women you're going to see in this showcase, like doing their developer spotlights. Like, they're talented, they're amazing, they're intelligent, they're smart, and they are part of the industry. And it's not just in the gaming industry, guys. It's all over. We're just a very small part, but we're trying to make big changes all over, because like Diana said, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
All of it.
And you know what? And all of those women who are here, everyone who we're going to be seeing, that diversity deserves to be here. It deserves to be here.
What's up, Dallas?
It doesn't to justify it. It deserves to be here.
And there's no justification. We get to be. And I think something that's really beautiful to experience at this moment, right, in 2024, is we are living at a time where young people are growing up with games in their hands. They're growing up with gamification just being something that's a part of their life. Yep. They're growing up at a time, and now we have so many Black, Indigenous, folks of color. We have queer folks. We have so many people that would not have had a seat or a table anywhere having them that we can learn from. That's like what's blowing my mind, right? Because when I think of when I was younger and like anything that you saw that was video games, right? But now it just wasn't us. And like that was a deliberate decision. And now we have a deliberate movement and a deliberate opportunity to see people in education, getting degrees, PhDs in education, content creators. Like I'm like blown away by this moment. And I'm just really excited to seize it, while at the same time changing all the, I'm not going to curse, all of the, you know what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all know. Y'all feeling the blank. Y'all feeling the blank.
We hear it.
Aww.
We hear it over here.
How's the baby?
I love you, and I love that you came on to like talk with us and like share your story and kind of like your vision for what you want to see for the future, because I think we can all agree here. We just want to be included because we deserve to be.
Thank you, Damaged Dark Side, for the follow.
Like,
appreciate it. How you doing?
Without us, you can't have some of these things. And come on.
Exactly.
And we shouldn't have to fight all the time. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, and I want to say thank you, because creating these types of platforms are essential. And I think I'm just grateful to be part of it.
Aww. Stop it. Listen, when I started out, quick, and then we're going to end. When I started out, like, I saw what Game Hers was, and I was, like, super excited. And then I saw Verda, and I was like, oh, my God. And this is when I was, like, doing a small little podcast about mental health and social justice. I was like, please come on to our show. I was doing everything to get her on the show and just talk to her, because it's so nice to see someone who looks like you in a position of success. And it doesn't matter what race you are, what ethnicity you are, seeing people who look like you succeed is always a boon. You're proud, you're excited, you know what I mean? It's someone that you look up to. So I just want you to know I'm continuously looking up to you and what you do and what you create. And if anybody wants to follow up on you and learn more about what you're going to be doing in the future, what are your socials? Where can they find out more about Verda?
I mean, at Verda or at Verda Maloney and all the places. There are not that many of us in the world, so I'm going to be pretty easy to find. And 45lemons.com. And you can go there for like more updates on everything. So I look forward to continuing the
Terrible
conversation.
twos.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Oh, you had another
make sure you follow Verda,
one.
make sure you follow what she's doing, and just really quick, even if you're not a woman of color, like, this isn't excluding you. We need all of us to make these things happen. That is why we create these spaces, and we also need men allies. So if you want to be supporter, please be supporter. Yeah, we're all working together. But we just want to take a moment to shine some light on some people who are doing some incredible things in the space, because they deserve it. So thank you so much for interviewing us.
Great
guys,
interview.
well, not interviewing
Verda
us, letting us
is the
interview you.
bomb.
It was a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it was a collaborative.
It was.
Teamwork, okay? Thanks so much. And guys, stay tuned, because we have a whole bunch of trailers coming up next, and we have some more spotlights. We'll talk to you soon. See you in a bit. So, Diana, what did you think about that interview?
I am in awe. Honestly, my first word that like popped up into my brain, I was gonna say I'm gagged, but like, I don't know if that's appropriate. I'm gagged. That's all I'm doing. Like, excuse me, because I just, there is so much knowledge. There's so much knowledge dropping there. It's like, I said it in an interview. It's like we all rise together. We all need to rise together. We all need like these safe spaces in order to communicate with each other and to learn from each other and to grow, because we never stop growing. And just hearing her talk, it's just another interview that could have gone for an hour, and I just would have been like, yes, the whole time. Yes.
She's iconic, isn't she? I don't think she realizes it, but she is iconic. And the fact that she's done so much and she continues to do so much. She was a principal. She started an art school. Like, she has done incredible things. And honestly, when you have someone who can come on and talk about their accomplishments while also saying, I still have room to grow. There's still so many more things I want to do. That is so awe-inspiring. And she's a busy woman.
Wonderful. My goodness. And I just think it's wonderful, and it's just like another lesson that shows us that not all of us have the same path. You don't need to be in this industry. You don't need to it's like programming. Programming is not the way into this industry. There's a lot of different ways into it. And there's a lot of things that we bring to it that makes this industry so interesting and so wonderful and so great. And I'm inspired. I'm ready. I'm ready to go march.
For the people in the back. She said, I'm ready to march. I'm ready to march.
Yes, I'm being dramatic. I told you, I'm gagged. Like right now, I'm just like.
I know. I love that. I'm feeding off of your energy. But
I'm ready.
But I really hope you enjoyed that interview. Please make sure to keep up with Verda and follow her on all of her socials. She is an incredible person doing incredible things for all of us. And her overall message is that we, like Diana said, is that like if we work together, we can all rise together. There's room for everyone.
It's like people be trying to fight over crumbs.
But okay, we do have some more for you guys to check out before we peace out of this joint. And don't forget to stay tuned, because Stream for a Cause is also going to have their showcase. And I hope you watch the Black Voices in Gaming showcase, because they also drop some knowledge bombs.
Girl,
there.
It's not a hope. They better watch Black Voices in Gaming. They better watch it.
You heard it here.
I said it.
I'm pointing here, but she's probably over here. I don't know where they're gonna put the camera. Anyways, Diana said it, so listen to her. She's incredibly smart. And let's keep going, because after this we're gonna wrap up the show. But guys, stay tuned. Okay, we're not done yet. I might order some more taquitos, and I'm about to slip back up into some DM. So.
Oh, hold on a second.
I forgot to create the group. I'm gonna do that right now. I promise. I'm gonna do
you
it
cut
right
me
now.
out?
No,
you
I'm
cut
doing
me
it
out.
right now. I'm doing it.
Okay, all right.
All right, guys. See you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Leah at Mouthbottoms on all the socials, and I am a motion designer. I've been working in games for 4 years, but I've actually been doing motion design for over a decade at this point. As an only child with ADHD, I have spent so much time playing Harvest Moon on my GameCube that it's actually resulted in a real-life garden as an adult. So no one can say that I've never touched grass. As a lady who loves horror, puzzles, and incredible artwork, I'm very honored to get to introduce Indie.io. They've got a couple games coming out that are right up my alley, and I sure hope they're up yours too.
Hi Dames for Games, I'm Katie, Head of Marketing at Indie.io, formerly Freedom Games. I'm excited to be here today with two of my colleagues to talk to you about some of the upcoming games we're publishing. First up is Renaissance Kingdom Wars by Reverie World Studios. This game is a grand strategy RTS hybrid where players experience a unique blend of grand strategy on the world map and intense real-time battles on the ground. Lead your troops to victory and become a lord of a city as a reward, where you must manage the economy and carve a domain of your own. Next, we have Chronomon, developed by Stone Golem Studios. If you're a fan of monster tamers, farming sims, and pixel art, this game is tailor-made for you. Chronomon is a monster taming experience, but it incorporates beloved elements of simulation games such as farming, foraging, and cooking, creating a delightful blend of gameplay. Each playthrough is unique, thanks to branching storyline and choices that matter.
Hi, I'm Victoria, the QA manager here at Indie.io, and I wanted to tell you guys about two games that are coming up which I'm really excited for. The first one is Everhome, which is a cute little game where Lily tries to find her sister in this strange world with strange people. I just really love the art style, and I love Lily even more.
I think people don't recognize the different forms like of ADHD, and when you say ADHD,
the second one is Immortal Hunters,
I'm
where
like,
players
oh,
are
it's
heroes
like
destined to fight off
different
these terrible
types.
monsters in a world that is post-apocalyptic
People don't
and controlled by
understand.
the I just find it really cool, and it has amazing combat mechanics.
I didn't even recognize like that at all. I just thought like, oh, okay. Okay, so.
I just really hope you love them as much as I do.
Hi, I'm Carrie King. I'm a game designer at Indie.io, and I kind of wanted just to give y'all some insight on some upcoming titles we have that I'm really excited about. First is Hauntsville. It is a Western horror survival base building kind of game. You can do it alone or with friends, and just building up your homestead in the Wild West while dealing with the horrors that haunt you. The other game that I'm really excited about is SCP Fragmented Minds. If you have any interest in the SCP franchise, definitely this is one you have to check out. All I can really say is you will be quite immersed in the world, and especially Mars Site 113.
How you go check it out. For real.
So definitely go check the games out on Steam and give them a wish list.
Rebranded as Indie.io. I thought her mouth was open.
I'm Laura, co-founder of Party for Introverts, a London-based studio creating emotion-driven games. As a small team, my work at Party for Introverts includes serving as art director, producer, animator, and editor. Coming from a theater background, I especially love focusing on story and character development, creating worlds and experiences that resonate with the player. As such, I also serve as voice actor of the protagonists in our upcoming project, Cabernet. Cabernet is a 2D narrative RPG set in a 19th century Eastern European-inspired world with a modern twist. You play as Lisa, a young doctor in training turned vampire. In Cabernet, you must navigate your bloodlust and the choices of eternal life, uniquely confronting themes of alcoholism, corruption, and social conflict. Shift into a bat, hypnotize your meal, or become invisible. Battle your hunger and morality, deciding whether you'll drink just enough to survive or become consumed by the thrill of the hunt. If a taste of the vampiric world sounds appetizing to you,
Covering
you can
two
wishlist Cabernet now on
showcases
Steam
back to back.
as
There's
well as
another
play our demo
showcase
for
too.
a
I'm
limited
not sure
time.
if I'll be able to.
Many thanks to Dames for Games for shining a spotlight on so many incredible female-led games, and including Cabernet in this wonderful community. I hope you'll join me on Lisa's journey.
Hi Dames for Games, I'm Rita, a
co-founder of Finchbird Studio, as well as founder of Critical Reflex. So I'm here to talk about Freak Sleephead, that also happens to combine my two favorite things.
Oh, this is a cadence game.
So back when I was very, very young, I was fond of animation and games, and here I am working on my dream project that combines anime and dungeon crawling. In this game, you get to meet an amazing and colorful cast of characters, as well as explore all of the 9 circles of hell, hoping to save your soul, or at least, have some good time. Surprisingly enough, despite how some characters might look like, it's a female-only team that's main goal is to really make sure that these characters are just like us, are just like girls in real life, and not something that is artificially created just to cater the dating audience. My narrative squad, my girls Anna, Yana, and Marie, are working every day to create all of those hundreds of story events that all of you will get to enjoy once the game is out. For the game, we have incorporated a lot of the rhythm-based mechanics to make sure that you're having a very fresh and fun experience.
I wonder how she
As I said, the game is combining a lot of genres together. And I'm so happy to have Anna on our board to help us with making sure those are both fun and that they are very unique. Thank you for having us here by Dames for Games. I am so happy to be able to talk about my favorite things.
Hi, I'm Charlotta. I'm one of the co-founders of the Swedish-based indie game studio Magnetic Lake. We are a developer duo currently making the game Paris, Transylvania. It's a vampire-slaying pachinko roguelike deck builder. We have combined elements we love from card games, roguelikes, and pig poppers to make the most fun and exciting deck builder that we can. In this game, you play as the cake-loving last queen of
the
France,
art has been
Marie
incredible, and it's been like small
As she
teams.
escapes the guillotine in Paris, she flees, takes the wrong turn, and ends up in gloomy Transylvania. There she must battle the noble, wicked vampire clans that rule that world in order to free the people and become a hero. In my work, I'm all about storytelling
A
and
game with a
bringing
deep rabbit hole
exciting
type
content,
situation.
characters, and worlds to life. As a passionate
Game
gamer,
might be 120
this
hours.
has been a dream of mine, and I'm really happy to be able to work in this industry. I also have a really soft spot for female heroes. I'm really happy to be able to bring her into this game. The game is available to play on Steam, and it plays fantastically, even though it's still a demo. If you want to share any feedback, ideas, please join our Discord. We would really love that. I also want to thank Dames for Games for including us and creating this space, and for celebrating women in games. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Well, guys and gals, it's that time. And you know what? We never really say goodbye, because what I've said before is what I'm gonna keep saying. We're gonna be back, and it's gonna be bigger, and it's gonna be better, and we're just gonna keep growing. But before I do say goodbye, and before Diana says goodbye, we want to give a shout out again to all of those who have helped us: Twitch, Steam, IGN, GameSpot, and to those amazing people who keep throwing all their money on us: Heocraft, Indie.io.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, because without your support, without your help, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we're doing. And to all of the other organizations out there who are creating spaces so people can feel seen and heard and feel respected in their own right. huge shout out to Black Voices in Gaming, who has continued to uplift Black voices in the community. Huge shout out to Stream for a Cause, who we actually partnered with to do a scholarship, who continues to strive and uplift voices in the LGBTQ plus community, and everyone else out there doing the incredible work. Because listen, we don't all get paid for this, but we do it because we're passionate about it, and it's really, really important to us. So thank you. I appreciate you. My name is Destiny, if you didn't know. And I'm the creator of Dames for Games, and I do a lot of other things in the industry. And you can find me at DMVC32 pretty much anywhere. And if you find me on other platforms, keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. I'm talking Instagram and Facebook. What are you thinking, Diana?
Oh, I don't know. I just what? Okay, so, and I'm Diana. Anyway, I'm Diana, and you can find me at Girl Pants GR on Twitter, because it's always going to be Twitter and it'll never be X.
Always Twitter.
And then you could just go to my link tree right
X
there.
is always gonna be Twitter.
So
Hey, it's always gonna be Twitter.
We're gonna put it down here.
Can we have sparkles on it? Like,
I mean, I'll see if we can do sparkles. Right now we have stars and planets. She's asking for a lot. She's asking for a lot.
doing it.
Oh, this is the sparkles. This is us doing the sparkles.
I'm doing it right here.
All right, guys. So that's it. That's the end of the show for now. But stay tuned, because we plan on doing some incredible things the rest of the year. And I forgot.
She been hanging around, yeah. She been hanging around y'all too long.
Perfect thing, because I'm leaving the best for last. Go check out.
Y'all having me on again? What's going on?
We had on today's showcase. If they have,
Thanks, Flood Gargoyle, for the follow. How you doing?
It's so important for them. It really helps them. You know, that conversion rate, those sales. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to make millionaires here. You know what I mean?
We gotta help people. We gotta help you. Wish list.
List it up. The link is pinned on both platforms, y'all. Definitely check it out. There's demos available.
We absolutely can. There were a ton of fantastic games, a ton of incredible developers who came on to showcase their work.
Wish list it does help. A lot of these indie developers that's been showcased on both of these platforms have been picked up by publishers.
I'm proud of Mary. You don't see Mary, but Mary's in the background doing her thing. I don't say much about Mary, but she's incredible. She's probably going to cut this out. Hopefully she doesn't, but Mary has done such incredible things.
What y'all doing tonight? What's going on?
I also want to give a shout out to the Dames for Games team. All of you who help kind of keep me going when I get really tired. Thank you. You continue to be pillars of support. So thank you, Diana.
Thank you. I mean, in a years and a half of strife and turmoil in this industry, it is so
wonderful
to see the potential and the future with everyone who we spoke to in the interviews, everyone who showcased their games. This is the light that we need right now, and like I said in the beginning, I am so honored to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a friend. Ooh, yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. It's mad. I've been away from a lot.
I just like, you gotta keep it.
Been away from a lot of stuff. First of all, y'all got mad podcasts over there. Y'all got like 4 shows.
Thank you. Now, when are you gonna send me those taquitos? I'm still waiting for
what? Oh, the DMs. I'm doing it right now.
Have you still not added me to the chat? What is wrong with you? Don't cut for time. Hold on a second. Don't cut us out.
Y'all just see me. And shouts out to the whole Dames for Games team. Y'all did amazing interviews. Shouts out to Diana. That is the family right there. Girl Pants. But shouts out to everybody. I was unplugged for a solid month. I've been unplugged for months. Trying to get certain things together with me. But yeah, just let me know. I need to get something to eat. I'm hungry. I am thirsty. I gotta make sure that I'm not hungry and thirsty at all. I do want to see real quick. I'm not gonna be on camera probably. I do want to see what Straightforward has to offer and what's the games. I don't know how long it is. Um, but shouts out to Black Voices in Gaming. Shouts out to Justin and Derek. Of course, shouts out to my girl Destiny, my other sis, Diana. Y'all did an amazing job. Everybody did an amazing job. Some amazing games that were shown. Um, Definitely hit up was pinned on both platforms, which is the Steam page of Gorilla Collective, which is the family, of course, the mix, all of that jazz, the whole mix family. Go to the event page. I do have it pinned on both platforms. Wish list the games up. It really helps the developers. They get to gauge how many people is interested into the game. They're able to show those metrics to people who can invest, can be a part of their projects as well. It really helps them, even when it's on um, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. When you wish list those games, those metrics do help. So definitely check it out. Incredible showcase. Some people, I've like this summer of games have been really cool. Like to me, it's been cool. I do get when some people say, "Oh, it's been kind of mad." What's up, Sean? How you been? That has been kind of like made or whatever. I get those sentiments because a lot of people want that wow factor. Like they want that wow effect. And I think the reason is on how certain things is presented is so much of the individual things per se and not so much as a collective like, oh, this is this. And that was E3. E3 was that umbrella that you knew on schedule what was about to happen. E3 was that glue that made everything cohesive. Like, okay, we know we got Microsoft, we know we have Ubisoft, we know we have EA, we know we have Sony, we know we have Nintendo. Boom, we know we have the PC gaming show. We know we have this with the end of now we have of course more. We got Black Voices in Gaming, we got Dames for Games, we have Straightforward, we have all different types of stuff where it's like now it's it's like everything is all scattered. It's like the business is all scattered, and when it's like there's no main stage for us to be like, yo, that. And then there really hasn't been too many games that have shown us like the ninth generation of gaming when it comes to the tag of AAA. So I get it, but there has been games that have been keeping it up as far as a fun factor, a story deliverance factor, just keeping that vibe along. And so many games don't feel like it's just a glorified chore. That's another thing. So I get it. There's a lot of you were saying there are games I would play just like there was, but there hasn't been like a yo. Now the Blade joint, I forgot my brain. Sorry, what is it? Zero Blade or I forgot. It was shown during a PlayStation showcase. That game is a wow. That game is like yo. But yeah, the indies have definitely been carrying the industry. I don't care what anybody say. Indies have been carrying it. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero. That game right there. Hey Philly, thanks for coming back. That game right there is a wow. Like, yo, what's going on? Like, it's just so many different like aspects to it. So many different aspects. That's facts. We need more eyes on these games that are actually fun, that aren't in the spotlight like some that too. Yes. I've been doing good. I've been making sure to make sure that I'm great. So that's a plus. Sorry I've been gone, but just making sure I'm good. You was at work, but you missed most of it. It was cool. It was a cool showcase. Even you know, Black Voices in Gaming, Danes for Games, Afro Power, what's going on? Assassin's Creed Shot got me hyped. Exactly, right? Since the race. I can't wait for Assassin's Creed Shadow. Like I cannot wait. Also, shouts out to this Black developers that have been trying to make a Yasuke game for years and never got the support. So I just want to give the shouts out to the developers, the Black developers. I know Derek for sure. Derek Fields have had well, his Wanky and Oni studio has made a Yasuke. I actually have an interview with Derek that I need to post. It's in the vault. I have a vault of interviews, y'all, that I need to post. It's gonna be the vault series of interviews that need to be posted. It's just I always had trouble editing stuff myself. But y'all just gonna get what's gonna come out, period. But I have a vault of interviews that I'm just gonna just boom, just flood the YouTube with and chop them up so it could go across all platforms. But yeah, shouts out to Derek. There's some other developers as well too. Of course, with Yasuke the Descendant that's coming out. So stay tuned for that. But thank you, Child Foppers. I always try. Y'all have some interesting names. But thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate the support. But yeah, it's been a really, really dope. I want to see real quick. Why am I pressing start over there? I'm gonna have to.
I stream for a cause. Make a difference.
I stream for a cause.
To advocate for change.
I stream for a cause.
To be part of a community.
I stream for a cause.
To give back. To give back.
To give back. Stream for a Cause is a nonprofit organization that collabs with streamers and content creators alike.
We work together.
Not the. I would have been
To
pissed.
local grassroots initiatives and nonprofits around the world.
They also offer a sustainable future.
The spiky-haired protagonists and chivalrous frog knights were great characters whom I loved dearly, but I never found myself or my struggles represented in those stories. While this didn't
Hold
take
on,
away from
I
my enjoyment of
skipped.
the
Oh
games,
my
seeing a
gosh.
bit of my
Such a wonderful way of grasping what community can mean to different people. This year, for our Queer Indie Game Showcase, we were given this amazing opportunity to appear here on IGN, and we are so grateful for that.
I haven't
And
seen Bad
to
Boys 4 yet. I
really
haven't
draw
seen it
home
yet.
what community and diversity means, we asked all of these different studios, why is diversity important to you? And so today we're going to be taking a look at all of these different studios coming together to answer that question, show us diversity live and in person with their clips, their trailers,
Yeah,
their
let me
games,
chill.
and their values. So without drawing it out too much longer, let's have a moment to hear from Mooncube Games.
Hello, I'm Keith, one of the co-founders and art director at Mooncube Games. We're a 3-person indie studio from Montreal, Canada. Our first title, Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions, just released April of this year. Growing up as a queer black kid in the 90s, I loved playing RPGs and going on amazing adventures. There was nothing more exciting than leading a party of heroes into epic battles against world-ending villains. The spiky-haired protagonists and chivalrous frog knights were great characters whom I loved dearly, but I never found myself or my struggles represented in those stories. While this didn't take away from my enjoyment of the games, seeing a bit of myself reflected in those characters would have gone a long way to
That's
help
what
me
people
understand
never
myself
understand
better.
when it comes
Now
to
as an adult,
diversity.
it fills me with
You
so
want to
much
just
joy
see
that I've
someone
been
like
fortunate
you,
enough to co-found my own game studio
or
with 2 close friends who
your
share my
story or
values.
your background.
We've made it
Like
a
I don't
priority
get
to
why
create a
people
safe and inclusive space for all players.
I
My
just
younger
don't
self would be thrilled to know that I now have the opportunity to express myself with so much freedom. Today, games are even more inclusive and diverse than before. It's amazing seeing so many diverse cultures and viewpoints represented
mad
in the games I
cozy.
love. Representation and diversity in games can inspire confidence and a sense of belonging. Not only is self-representation important, but experiencing other perspectives and identities in games is just as vital. Games have a unique ability to immerse players in different worlds and perspectives, allowing them to explore cultures and experiences they might not encounter in their
I'm gonna, because I've been on here for almost 3 hours. Yo, you say you want a room like that? Word, like the room is fire. Or when I grew up too, even his background is like, yo, I love that color. I'm gonna have to copy because I need to paint. I love this amber-ish color. I've been on for a while. I do want to see what the different games that they have.
Here, but we're dedicated year round to making sure that we uplift that.
But stream,
we connect
with Stream 4 course have. I don't want to kind of.
To make a difference about the things that we care about the most.
I want to see what games they got going on.
Is really dedicated to working with small and grassroots nonprofits is very important.
Word, that large one.
For our people. We don't care how many followers somebody has. We're just interested in people who are ready to make a difference. If you're somebody who cares about making our world better, there's not just a place for you at SFAC, but an entire community and a commitment to doing what we love for a cause. Now let's look at some more games.
I like different art styles to games, like that too. Like, this look fire. I just like different art styles. Like when you get to play different art styles, this look dope. Sorry to have to scan, but hey, what's the name of that game? Damn, what was the name of the game?
The Stream for a Cause's mission, and that's representation.
No, I want to know the name of the game. It's giving like Adult Swim. Great God Grove.
The support from indie developers and studios helps make our events accessible to everyone who wants to participate, whether by donating game codes, uplifting voices, or generally elevating the work that we're capable of doing, including providing support for our community fund program, our Sustainable Futures coaching program, our...
They came for my family. Now, I control time itself.
This looks fire. It's giving like Sega Genesis vibes. Like,
I will use this power to change history, no matter what the cost. The Empire has taken everything I love. I will destroy them all.
this game is old. I've never seen this game. It reminds me like Genesis, Super Nintendo.
No one will stop me.
Time Spinner. Time Spinner, that looks dope.
It's been awesome to have Logitech set these spaces for us to be able to have these conversations in really brilliant and profound ways, and we want.
Streamlabs is joined together with the Asian Mental Health Collective, which I feel like is such a beautiful mash of those two things.
Logitech, thank you so much for creating this space for all of us to talk about these important issues and the things that drive us and really keep us going in this space.
This year, AET returns with over $30,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs.
Diversity in gaming matters. It's not just about representation, it's about fostering a sense of belonging. Inclusive games empower people with disabilities, combat social isolation.
Logitech always doing a thing.
Stream for a Cause. I think I've worked with them for the last 3
Yeah,
years.
Time Spinner is old?
It's amazing to see all the way the
What?
community has grown, the people that have done huge tournaments. Like I'm a DBD girly, so being able to see the money and the funds that
I'm
are raised,
clicking
the
on it.
messaging
Really?
that's able to be
Time
done.
spinner?
And what's
Let
so
me.
cool about Stream for a Cause is that, you know, you can give your money to organizations that sometimes it feels like you're doing a drop in the hat. I mean, every charity donation is very important. However, because they give out micro grants and it not only supply the funding, but they also give their expertise. They've got an amazing board, they've got an amazing programming committee. So they don't just give them a check and then walk away. They provide circumspective support for those that they support financially, which I absolutely love.
And that's another. So SVAC, they also teamed up with Dames for Games with a scholarship. And that's another thing too. It's one thing for somebody to give money. It's like, here you go. But some people, when they receive scholarships or money, a lot of time, of course, you'll know what it's dedicated to. If it's dedicated to you being a game developer, a programmer, a design artist, if you want to get into voice acting, if you want to start your own media company covering something. But it's another thing when you don't have support. It's like, okay, I know what this is for. This is a school or this is a certification. But once you have it, or when you're doing your fellowship in it, you still need support. So that's dope that they still like give support to whatever the monies are, you know, put up and then disperse. That there's something, because people think that everybody have the answers. If you seeking for help, you obviously don't have the answers. If you seeking help, I didn't know it was already out. So that's dope. I'm still trying to find it in the store. But yeah, definitely go wishlist everything. I put where it's pinned everything that's played on the Gorilla Collective, from Black Voices in Gaming, Dames for Games, SFAC. Definitely check out the games that are being presented. It was a dope showcase, period, from everybody. I want to see more of the games shown on SA because there's some dope. Oh yeah, I know about. This is already out.
No, not ours.
I know they added a
Ours
DLC.
isn't a story. What's even better? It's real life.
Another game on. Hey. Ultimas. That's short.
Sometimes they have power of epic scale and proportions. Better clear those hard drives. Sometimes they have the power of
That's how the cosplay.
Everyone deserves to see themselves in the media they consume. We want players to find
Facts.
joy by feeling seen, heard, and accepted.
Fortunately,
you'll see all kinds of different people. And for us as developers,
Threcht, Ambrosia Island.
Mythwrecked.
Alex is taking a.
But I really wanted to see characters who looked like me, who were girls.
See, people think people be
Or
bugging.
experiences with our friends. And if a game depicts certain groups or certain people as villainous or otherwise not normal, that can seriously hurt and affect young people's perceptions of others and themselves. Think children and young people learning from these sources, whether it be their teachers, their parents, their peers, or the media. If the media is telling them that, hey, these video game characters and these gay video game characters are villains, then that can really distort the perception of these young people's minds. Bardic Quest for Love. It's a game that I
Animal Nurse. I've worked on several LGBTQIA+ games, including First Bite and our others.
They didn't have an outfit.
While aboard Tacoma Station, please remember that all activity on this facility is monitored by.
Stomach is like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I tried to skim through the rest of the showcase. Shouts out to SFAC. They did help also with Danes for Games and funding and helping us have a showcase. Sorry I couldn't show the rest. That's why I wanted kind of to skim through it. Y'all make sure y'all go back and look at the Black Voices in Gaming. If you just search Black Voices in Gaming or Guerrilla Collective, it was presented on IGN, GameSpot, also on its, of course, respective platforms such as Guerrilla Collective, The Mix, Things for Games, SFAC as well. But thank you so much, everybody who did tune in to see my commentary and to chat with you all in the comment section, in the chat section, on what I thought, or just kind of some sidebar, some side-loaded sidebar conversations as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody that has been following since I was doing the showcase. But yeah, I really hope the ESA or something comes along as far as when it comes to giving a E3 2.0 or something, just to make everybody all collective together so we can have those stages, so we can have that financial support as well, because it's really hard doing a showcase. I know as far as being a part of Black Voices of Gaming, being a part of Dames for Games in the Mix, that it is not easy doing a showcase. It's not even easy doing a showcase online. People just think that, oh, you have your cameras, you get on there and you just stream. It's a full-on production. Also, speaking to so many different game developers from all around the world, there's different time zones and such. Just getting that all produced, and to the developers, just having the time to get something available to show a demo. I don't think a lot of you, us as gamers and people who talk about games, be it as being an analyst, a commentator, reviewing games, streaming games, I don't think a lot of us understand what it takes to develop a video game. Like, for real. Even to make a demo, it's damn near like making another game. Like, for real. Just to have a demo ready to present and showcase for these different showcases, it's not easy. So shouts out to all developers this whole games, during the summertime, the summer game showcase period, whether it's from Summer Games Fest to IGN Live to Wholesome Games to Guerrilla Collective, if I didn't say PC Gaming already, Black Voices in Gaming and so forth, and Dames for Games and SFAC, just everybody collective. Yo, exactly. Like, the lighting gotta be right, the editing, like, yo, and just doing things over and over. I know from like having to do our words over and over again, or if we slipped up. That's why I don't like teleprompter. I'd rather a teleprompter, or if I don't have a teleprompter, I just like to just go ahead and just freestyle it, because you start to trip over your words. It's a lot if y'all don't understand a lot of things that go into production with stuff. And even y'all should have a glimpse of it just starting your own streams alone. It's a lot. Then you have technical problems. So shouts out to everybody who has put on a showcase for this summer to show us gamers what they have in store for either the summer already or going into the fall and winter or next year. Double salutes, for real. It's not easy. I know from the back end, front end, side to side. I know from being a part of this stuff. And salute to all developers, everybody that's been a part of the teams that got everything together to make all this stuff happen. All the different advocacies, Tiltify stuff. Y'all make sure to definitely go and support. I'm speaking going to talk about my community as a whole, as far as my Black, Brown, and Indigenous Native communities. That, yes, please, if y'all complain about talking about not seeing enough of you in something, definitely seek out and see some of the developers that are not being showcased, you know, and that's why we have things like Black Voices in Gaming and Dames for Games and such like that. So if you want to see more of you, definitely reach out. Like, even if you're a small content creator, it doesn't matter. I don't like to say small. Reach out to some of these game developers, have them on your show, see if you could play and demo their games. It takes a village. Like, just like with Sam had it, she has her show, It Takes a Village. Just like what she has for her podcast, it does take a village in this community. Like, there's a lot of things we can complain about, or are we going to kind of change the narrative or add something to it? So we could complain and we could say what it is, because it does put a spotlight on what needs to be changed. But it's also dope and cool to add to that change too, while you're still trying to vocalize what you don't like. So just because you might have 200, 350, shoot, you probably just got one. You can still make an impact and change by showcasing the developers that you want to see, or the game characters you actually want to see, or whatever games you want to play, or whatever culture you want to be presented in games. You could do it as well too. Don't think like your voice does not matter, because it does. So you know, seek out those different places, those different groups and such, and see what you're able to do in order to change things. With all that being said, I appreciate everybody. Shouts out to Black Voices in Gaming, The Mix, the Guerrilla Collective, Dames for Games, SFAC. I didn't trip up this time. SFAC as well. And I will see y'all all later. If y'all have any thoughts or questions before I end this, let me know. Afro Power said, yeah, there are black made games like Protodroid Delta, Outlive a Tribulation, but some of these black people still want to whine. Exactly. There's so many games out right now. For all those that don't know, every Wednesday, which I'm going to get back on my schedule and back on with Hidden Code. I did have a show called Hidden Code where I would spotlight these developers as far as black, brown is what I mean by brown is Hispanic, and native, indigenous, native game developers that look like me and the rest of my community. I had as far as Hidden Code. I'm also continuing that with streaming those games too. So the last game that I did showcase, I had Protodroid Delta. I showcased that game is dope, difficult but fire at the same time. It gives those Mega Man vibes, and Mega Man was never no cakewalk, right? Tales of Kenzera, Tales of Kenzera. I always get it mixed up, but phenomenal game. Make sure you check out. It's from it's Surgeon by Surgeon Studios, from my brother. I'm not gonna mess up your name, so I'm Mr. Salim, because it's Akubar. I hope I'm pronouncing the brother's name correctly, but it's by Mr. Salim or Salim. He is a voice actor of Bayek and Assassin's Creed Origins. He started his own studios called Surgeon Studios, and he created Tales of Kenzera, Zao, which is also it's an indie game but published and supported by EA. I played that game as well. I do have some other games to spread light and showcase from before. Y'all already seen me, of course, played Never Yield from Aerial Knight, Neil Jones, aka Aerial Knight from Neil. And I'm going to showcase some more. I do have some other games to play. I do want to finish Azteca, which is a really dope game by some phenomenal Mexican game developers. And I have some other games too from some Brazilian video game developers as well too. So that's going to be every Wednesday. I'm going to also try and get some more developers on to speak about their whole journey into game development, and how others can get into the game industry and create their own games as well. Because every time I spoke to a lot of these game developers, they were self-taught actually. So yeah, but until then, y'all, I appreciate all of you. Love all of you, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I should be back on. I want to see if a game that I do want to stream. What's today? Today Tuesday. It is Wednesday. I guess I'm gonna be playing. I will see what game I want to play. Am I gonna finish? I haven't played Azteca in a long time. I'll probably showcase Azteca today. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, I will check you out later. Peace and enjoy the rest of your day. Wishlist the game. I was trying to get back to hair. I was trying to get back to hair, but not hair per se. But I wanted to say to everybody, make sure y'all please go and wish list those games. I do have it pinned. I will have it in the description below. And I'm going to have the websites of Black Voices in Gaming, Danes for Games, Latinx in Games, and some other organizations too that you all can support. Okay? Pieces. This is the final piece.